Chapter 398. Chapter 398. Kang Xiaobo's parents' attitude. Jian Wen, Taizao, and Gonglu's phones were all taken by Lin Yi, and so they were in the room, completely isolated from the outside world. They couldn't contact anyone outside even if they wanted to. He didn't know if their medicine would work, but even if it didn't, they'd probably be scared out of their wits, right? Jian Wen's driver sent Lin Yi off the car respectfully, watching as Lin Yi entered the villa before driving away. "Shield bro, you're back? Hehe, Yaro missed you just now," Yu Shu said with a smile as she walked up to Lin Yi. "Shu, don't say that. When did I miss him?" Meng Yaro frowned. "I wanted you to call him and ask him if he's okay." "Ha! Then do you want me to be okay?" Lin Yi asked with a smile. Meng Yaro wanted to say that of course she did, since that was what she'd been thinking as well. She'd agreed to let Lin Yi go eat with Jian Wen because she wanted to use Jian Wen to teach Lin Yi a lesson for trying to peek at her and Yu Shu's wishes today. But her anger had passed, and Meng Yaro didn't want Lin Yi to be okay. She wanted to see how Lin Yi was going to deal with Jian Wen. "You're back in one piece, it's obvious that you're fine. What does it matter if I don't want it or not?" Meng Yaro said faintly. "Ha!" Lin Yi was used to the Mrs. Cold exterior but warm interior. He smiled and didn't say anything. "I'll let you guys watch the video, I'll go take a shower first. I reek of alcohol." "Another video? Oh, that's great, I thought there wouldn't be one this time." Yu Shu excitedly took over Lin Yi's phone and started playing the video. Meng Yaro said that she wasn't interested, but she still moved her head closer when Yu Shu started playing. Lin Yi went back to his room to take a shower while Yu Shu and Meng Yaro sat on the sofa, watching a video. Yu Shu exclaimed when she saw Lin Yi drinking with the other four. "Wow, Yaro, Shield bro's so good. He can drink so much. What's so good about drinking?" Meng Yaro curled her lips. "Mommy wouldn't have left home if Daddy hadn't been busy with social activities." "You can't say that, hehe, I think the way Shield bro drinks is so cool," Yu Shu said disapprovingly. "Shu, how can you be so infatuated?" Meng Yaro scolded. "It's nothing, I'm just saying." "Ha, I'm just saying." Yu Shu blushed as she shook her head. Meng Yaro didn't smile much, but the way Lin Yi dealt with Jian Wen, Taizao, and Gang Lu was quite amused, especially Tai Wei coughing up blood. It was like something out of a comedy, and it wasn't scary at all. Instead, it was hilarious. Yaro, I remember that in Tang Bohu's Fragrance of Autumn, there was a guy coughing up blood like that, right? Yu Shu said after some thought. "I think so. He's an advisor. Gonglu's an advisor too, and he got so pissed off by Lin Yi that he fainted." Meng Yaro had to admit that Lin Yi's words were quite hurtful, but that was only limited to the people involved. Watching the video as a bystander was still very satisfying. Meng Yaro and Yu Shu were even more speechless. Weren't Jian Wen and Taizao a little too much? But Lin Yi's last sentence, telling them to keep it for themselves, made Meng Yaro feel very comforted. It seemed that Lin Yi wasn't that perverted after all, not even interested in a blow-up doll. Yaro, what does a blow-up doll look like? I've never seen one before, maybe we should go take a look sometime? Yu Shu suggested curiously. "What are you looking at?" "Look at your ass." Meng Yaro glared at Yu Shu, speechless. "How can we go into an adult toy store like that?" "Oh, maybe we can get Shield bro to buy one and we can study it," Yu Shu said after some thought. "No, what if he uses it secretly? That's disgusting." Meng Yaro, of course, wouldn't agree. Yu Shu gave up after seeing that Meng Yaro wasn't agreeable to it. Kang Xiaobo returned home with a worried heart, but what confused him was that the storm he'd been expecting wasn't coming. Kang Xiaobo was prepared for his parents' lecture before he got home. Xiaobo's back. Kang Fu and Kang Mu were both sitting on the sofa, their faces serious, but not angry. This surprised Kang Xiaobo a little. "Dad, Mom, I'm back." Kang Xiaobo nodded. "I went to the bookstore, and I got too engrossed in it, that's why I was late." "Bookstore? What books?" Kang Fu paused when he saw the bag in Kang Xiaobo's hands. "Some stuff about business management." Kang Xiaobo didn't hide it. His parents would find out about it eventually, so he might as well tell them now in case they couldn't accept it later. "Business management? Kang Fu couldn't help but frown. You're not buying books about studying, but business management. Aren't you biting off more than you can chew? Are you stimulated by the banquet today, and you want to make a career? But you haven't even been admitted to college yet. Why are you reading business management? Even if you learn it, do you think there are companies that want you? Even if there are companies that want you, aren't you just a small staff member? They are just small staff members after graduating from college. You haven't gone to college yet. Kang Fu opened a small tea house. The business wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. He knew that it wasn't easy to make money, so when he heard that Kang Xiaobo wanted to learn business management, he immediately began to lecture. Yeah, Xiaobo, your father and I don't support or oppose the relationship between you and that girl. So you don't need to rush to make a career and prove yourself, Kang Xiaobo's mother said with a little concern. Dad, Mom, I have a company that wants me now, but I don't have the ability to do it. When Kang Xiaobo saw his parents look, he knew that they misunderstood, so he explained helplessly. A company wants you. You don't have the ability to do it. Kang Fu was stunned. Xiaobo, what do you mean? You don't know anything, and there are companies that want you? Yeah, the boss is going to open a pharmaceutical company, and he asked me to help. I don't know anything. I have to learn. Kang Xiaobo spread his hands and said with a bitter smile. Chapter 399. Kang Ming Ming, vomiting and diarrhea. Although Mr. Kang said that about his son, his tone wasn't very strict. Once upon a time, when he was his son's age, he didn't know how high the sky was and how far the sea was. He saw his second uncle's family getting better day by day, and he wanted to make a career out of it. However, the hardships of life and the torment of the years had already obliterated his edge. He wanted to make a career out of it, but he could only manage this tea house cautiously. He had become a good guy who had to take into account all aspects, and offend people here and there if he wasn't careful. He didn't want his son to go from hope to disappointment like him, so he had to make things clear in advance. The idea was good, but it was hard to do it. Taking a sip of tea, Kang Fu continued, I think you should focus on your studies, and put aside the management stuff for now. When there's a big company that wants you, you can learn it then. I don't have to buy management books for a small company. Kang Xiaobo smiled bitterly. Boss is investing in big companies. He's planning to open a medical company with Guan Shuamin, and he's planning to invest 100 million in the beginning. Phut, Kang Fu spat out the tea in his mouth. Cough cough. What? Guan Shuamin? 100 million? Yeah, Dad, do you think I'd be under so much pressure? Someone like me who doesn't know anything has to help manage such a big company. How can I not learn? Kang Xiaobo found his father's expression funny, but he was very proud of himself. Didn't you say your son couldn't do it? So what if he couldn't do it? He had a good boss. My God, how much is 100 million? Kang Mu's eyes widened as well. Your dad's tea house is at most a few million, and that includes the house. Father Kang glared at Mother Kang and said, you might think 100 million is a lot, but in my uncle's eyes, it's nothing. His family's business is worth at least 1 billion. However, investing 100 million in a company in the early stages is considered a big company. Xiaobo, if you really can't do it, then don't force yourself. What will you do if you lose their money for nothing? That second uncle of yours. Look at his attitude towards our Xiaobo today. What a piece of trash. Kang Mu didn't think so. Xiaobo, Mom supports you. Since your eldest brother trusts you so much, you should repay him well. Make a career and show your second grandpa's family. Ian, I know. Kang Xiaobo clenched his fist. Boss told me the same thing. At this point, Mr. Kang couldn't say anything more. He could only silently bless and support his son. Xiaobo, since you've made up your mind, do it well. Don't let us down. Well, then I'll go back to my room first. Today's events have given me too much psychological impact. One after another, I feel like I'm dreaming. I need to digest and sort it out, Kang Xiaobo said with some embarrassment. Mr. Kang nodded, but he smiled bitterly in his heart. Not to mention a child like you, even a person like me, who has been through a lot, would be so shocked that I almost dropped the teacup in my hand when I heard this news from you. After Kang Xiaobo left, Kang Mu's face was filled with excitement. I said that our son is amazing. Look, isn't our family going to have a comeback? Let's see if your second uncle still has to look at us in the eye. Guan Shuamin, Miracle Dr. Guan, is much better than your second uncle, that half-baked miracle doctor. Nothing has been set in stone yet. Why are you saying all this? Moreover, you can only encourage him, not praise him. Kids are easy to get carried away. Don't make Xiaobo's ego inflate. It will be disadvantageous to him, Kang Fu said seriously. Don't talk about this anymore. We'll just watch silently. All right, I'll listen to you. Kang Mu nodded. She naturally understood that what Kang Fu said was right. Old Kang, why don't you ask about Xiao Fen? Don't you want to talk to your son? You should at least ask what's going on, right? Since he doesn't support or oppose it, why ask so much? Kang Fu shook his head. Think about it. I think half of Xiaobo's motivation comes from that girl. So, why should we care so much? If Xiaobo really becomes outstanding one day, Xiao Fen will be the hero. If he wants to break up with Xiao Fen, we won't agree to it. But on the other hand, if she leads Xiaobo astray, we have to break them up no matter what. What you said makes sense. Now that you said it, it does make sense. Kang Mu nodded. Then, we won't say anything else. At night, Kang Mingming found out that he started to vomit and have diarrhea. At first, it scared the Kang family as they thought he was poisoned. Dad, I said that Kang Xiaobo must have bad intentions. He sent us poison. Kang Tsuepu saw his son suffering. His eyes were red. He had the urge to kill Kang Xiaobo. Dr. Kang frowned. He looked at Kang Mingming who was lying on the bed. He was puzzled. Was Kang Xiaobo really not afraid of anything? He sent a poison without any hesitation. Jiaoming, how do you feel? Do we need to go to the hospital? Dr. Kang looked at his grandson and asked worriedly. Although he didn't love his grandson as much as his eldest grandson, he was still his grandson. How could he not feel heartache? Grandpa. Kang Mingming squeezed a smile on his pale face. I feel like my body doesn't belong to me anymore. I feel like I'm floating. If I die, will I be considered a hero of the Kang family? You can't die. You are now a hero of the Kang family. Dr. Kang was touched. Whether it works or not, I will give you 5% of the Kang family's shares as a reward. Thank you, Grandpa. But I don't need it. Just give it to my dad. Kang Mingming said intermittently. Jiaoming, don't scare Dad. If you die, what use do I have for the shares? Kang Tsuepu heard Kang Mingming's words and jumped at him. Jiaoming, why don't we go to the hospital? You can't stay like this. Tsuepu was panicking when Kang Jiaoming blinked at him. We can't. We can't go to the hospital. We can't let people know that we picked up Xiaobo's pills again. They'll laugh at us. I can't do that even if I die. We can't lose face for House Kang. Tsuepu said. Chapter 400. It really works, but he didn't say it aloud. He pretended to be pitiful, trying to get Dr. Kang's sympathy and get some benefits for himself. Tsuepu and Kang Mingming were the same kind of people, both sly and cunning. The father wouldn't have given a fake ginseng, and the son a fake prescription otherwise. So, Kang Tsuepu immediately understood what Kang Jiaoming was implying. Kang Jiaoming was fine, he was just pretending. Tsuepu didn't show it on his face, but he was praising his son on the inside. The pupil had surpassed the master, and was even more devious than he was. Good kid, truly a good kid. Dr. Kang couldn't help but cry at Kang Mingming's words. Jiaolong, if you can't go to the hospital, why don't you take a look at Jiaoming and check his pulse? All right, Grandpa. Jiaolong looked at Kang Mingming's acting with cold eyes. As his cousin, he knew exactly what kind of person Kang Mingming was. He was a schemer and a coward since he was young. Why wouldn't he go to the hospital if he really couldn't make it? Jiaolong guessed that Kang Mingming was most likely faking it. But he couldn't say it aloud. It wasn't the right time to say such things, but Jiaolong was a little jealous of Kang Mingming. He was the genius of the family, his grandpa's favorite, but Kang Mingming got lucky and ate a pill that made him the center of attention. If he'd known this would happen, he'd have taken it himself. Of course, if Jiaolong had asked to test the pill himself, Dr. Kang wouldn't have agreed. Jiaolong was the future of House Kang, after all. Even if he knew that the pill wouldn't kill him, Dr. Kang wouldn't risk letting Jiaolong try it. Jiaolong's heart calmed down a little at the thought. He walked over and held Jiaolong's wrist, checking his pulse. It was weak, but it was fine. Hey! Jiaolong was a meticulous man, and he noticed that the pores on Kang Mingming's body were covered in a layer of yellow and black oil. What's this? Out of your body? Kang Mingming was too focused on his vomiting and diarrhea to notice that there was a layer of stickiness on his body. What? What is this? Bone and marrow cleansing? Could it really be the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? Jiaolong looked at the stuff coming out of Kang Mingming's body in shock. Yes, it should be. I've seen descriptions of bone and marrow cleansing in some ancient medical books, and this is the effect. It really is the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? Dr. Kang was also very surprised. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel a little regretful. How good would it be if he had eaten it? Kang Mingming was so young. Why would he need to expel poison? He was the one who should be prolonging his lifespan and expelling the poison. However, the remaining half obviously couldn't be eaten. It had to be sent to the group's research institute for analysis and testing. It shouldn't be wrong, Jiaolong nodded. But the effects aren't that obvious when used on Jiaoming. One reason is because he's young, and there's less poison in his body. The other reason is that he only ate half of it. All right, Jiaolong, bring the other half of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing to our company's research center immediately. We'll analyze and test the ingredients. If we can get our hands on the recipe of this pill, then Miracle Dr. Kang's brand will definitely rise to new height. Miracle Dr. Kang ordered excitedly. Yes, Grandpa. Jiaolong nodded, smiling bitterly on the inside. It wasn't that easy to analyze the ingredients. It'd be fine if it were just regular ingredients, but if there were some strange herbs added in, there was basically no hope of getting anything out of it. In the intensive care unit of a high-end hospital in Donghai City, an old man lay weakly on the bed. In the outer room of his ward, a square-faced man was discussing with the doctor in a low voice, "If my father doesn't have a kidney transplant, how long can he last?" "Less than a month." The doctor shook his head. "We've done our best." "What's the hope of getting a kidney transplant?" the man asked. This man was Fatty Lai's brother, Chang Tian. "It's okay to spend money, Mr. Lai, forgive me for being blunt, but Mr. Lai's condition is very bad. If we get a kidney transplant right now, I'm afraid he won't even be able to get off the operating table," the doctor said honestly. "With your family's wealth, finding a suitable kidney isn't a problem. If we don't have the proper channels, there's the black market. But this isn't a problem of money. Doctor, can you think of something else?" Chang Tian hesitated. "How about we wake him up? It's not like he's in a coma, right?" Chang Tian didn't really care about his father's well-being, but the problem was that his father didn't leave a will before he fainted. If his father passed away just like that, then he'd have to split the remaining assets with his brother. He wasn't willing to accept this. He'd invested a lot more time and effort into the company than his brother. Chang Yi was only in charge of real estate and trade. Of course, these two industries were already highly profitable in the eyes of others, but Chang Tian was in charge of manufacturing. Compared to real estate and trade, electronic manufacturing with a large industrial park was the group's core industry. Even if the real estate and trade sectors were separated and given to Chang Yi, it wouldn't hurt the group at all. But Chang Tian was afraid that his brother would fight for control of the industrial park. This was something Chang Tian didn't want to see, so he had to make his father wake up and leave a will. His father wasn't muddle-headed. He definitely didn't want to see the electronic industrial park he'd created split apart because of family infighting. The best solution was to leave the real estate and trade subsidiaries to Chang Yi. He could also give Chang Yi a portion of the electronic industrial park's shares, but he wouldn't have the decision-making power, and the shares couldn't be sold at will. If he wanted to sell them, they could only be sold to him at market price. This was Chang Tian's plan. The conditions weren't too harsh, and he believed that his father would agree to his suggestion for the sake of the industrial park's prosperity. But if his father passed away just like that, Chang Tian couldn't guarantee that his brother wouldn't try to take over. "Wake up," That's possible, but after he wakes up, he probably won't be able to make it. The doctor understood what Changtian meant, so he explained. Let me think about it. Changtian frowned. He didn't know if he'd have time to make a will the moment he woke up. As they were talking, the door to the ward was pushed open, and Changyi, or Fatty Lai, rushed in. Good news, good news. Dad can be saved. Chapter 401. The non-mainstream girl brother, Dad's saved. I found the elixir, give it to him now. Fatty Lai was beyond excited, the fat on his body jiggling as he spoke with a cigar box in his hands. Changyi, what do you mean saved? What elixir did you find? Changtian frowned. You didn't run into some scammer who gave you a pill of strength, did you? It's not a strength pill, nor a scammer. Fatty Lai shook his head. It's really something good. Brother, go get some warm water, I'll give it to Dad. Nonsense. What if Dad dies from it? Why are you bringing everything here? Changtian hemped coldly as he reached for the thing in Changyi's hands. The doctor saw that it was a quarrel between the two brothers, and didn't want to get involved. He turned to leave, but Changtian didn't seem to have any intention of letting him go. He pointed at him. The doctor is here, ask him if that strength pill can be eaten as he pleases. The doctor was sweating profusely, not knowing how to answer Changtian's question. How could he just say something like that? Sure, the strength pill couldn't be eaten, but what if Fatty Lai managed to get some special medicine from a famous doctor? It was a difficult situation for him to handle. If he said no, and the medicine was proven to be effective, wouldn't he have to bear the responsibility? If he said yes, what if someone died from it? The doctor hesitated for a long time before replying. Everything has its risks, and not all elixirs are scammers. There are good ones as well. The ambiguity of not offending either side pissed Changtian off. Damn it, I gave you a red packet for nothing. Alright, you can leave now. There's nothing for you to do here. Changtian waved his hand, shooing the doctor out. The doctor felt as if he'd been pardoned, and quickly left the room. It was best if he didn't get involved in a battle between two brothers. What are you trying to do by making this pill? Do you want Dad to die immediately after eating it? Changtian's eyes widened, a cold smile on his face. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. You just want Dad to die quickly so you can fight me for control of the industrial park, right? I'm telling you, that's impossible. I've put a lot of effort into the industrial park. I'm 5 years older than you, and I've been working in the industrial park since I was 20 years old. I won't give it up so easily. Let me tell you, don't even think about it. Even if Dad wakes up, he will only give you 30% of the shares. The real estate and trade are yours. You better not get involved in the industrial park. I want Dad to die. Paige, don't force me to say some things. I heard the conversation between you and the doctor from the door. Don't you want Dad to write you a will when he wakes up? Fatty Lai smiled coldly. Since you've already shed all pretense of cordiality, don't blame me for being impolite. I'll say it here, I'm giving Dad this pill because I want him to recover. As for that industrial park of yours, I'm not going to get involved. If Dad doesn't leave a will, I don't want it either. Just like you said, give me 30% of the shares, and I'll split up with the real estate and trading companies. Oh! Changtian paused, a trace of joy flashing through his eyes. All right, words alone are no proof. Let's write it down. Once I write it down and you sign it, you can give Dad whatever you want. I don't care anymore. It's a deal. Fatty Lai's eyes flashed with coldness. This brother of his was too heartless. He didn't care about his father's life or death at all. All he cared about was getting control of the industrial park. Changtian had a general outline of the contract in his mind, so it didn't take long for him to come up with one. For a veteran in the business world like him, it wasn't hard to come up with a strict contract in a short amount of time. At the same time, Fatty Lai wasn't stupid. He looked at the contract his brother had written for him, and there were no problems with it. He signed it right away. All right, do whatever you want. Changtian put away the contract in satisfaction, his face full of joy. Fatty Lai didn't care if his brother was cold-blooded or not. He quickly ran into the room and carefully put the pill into his father's mouth. He then melted it with some hot water and fed it to his father. Chang Tian stood on the side, recording the scene with his phone. He smiled coldly in his heart. If something really did happen to his father, this video would be enough to prove that Fatty Lai was the murderer. Even if it wasn't intentional, it was still a mistake. Forget about fighting for the inheritance, he'd be lucky if he didn't end up in jail. One had to say, Chang Tian was a very sinister man. He wasn't completely at ease after signing the contract, afraid that Fatty Lai would go back on his word. Fatty Lai waited on the side for the results after giving Elder Lai the pill, but the old man didn't seem to have any reaction at all. Chang Tian watched Fatty Lai's every move with a cold smile on his face. What kind of bullsh** tea pill from God knows where could wake someone up? What kind of joke was this? Chang Tian didn't believe that such a stupid thing existed in this world. Ever since the old man had fallen unconscious, who knew how much money they'd spent to no avail? Naturally, Chang Tian didn't think that a miracle would happen. If you want to stay here, then stay here. I'm leaving. Lai Changtian had already gotten the result he wanted. It didn't matter if the old man woke up or not. If he was right, this pill would only bring harm to the old man. Who knew, the old man's wails would be heard the next day. Monday, Songshan's first school's entrance. A group of people stood in a neat formation, with Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming among them. From the looks of it, they were welcoming someone. But what kind of person could make Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming line up to welcome? If one looked closely, they'd realize that other than Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming, the rest of the people in the group were all troublemakers in the school. They weren't as famous as the Big Four, but they were still famous people. For example, the 12th grade gangster Kang Xiaobo had run into last time, Yu Dafa, was standing in the group as well. An Audi TT slowly stopped in front of the school. The driver was a young girl with a pair of sunglasses on her delicate face. Her hair was combed to the side, and it was a very non-mainstream style. Welcome back to school, Feng sis. Other than Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming, the other students greeted and bowed when they saw the girl in the Audi. Chapter 402. The last of the Big Four. It's the invincible beauty of the universe, Big Sis Xiao Xiao. The group sweated, but they repeated it anyway. Lil Sis Xiao Xiao is back. Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang didn't really want to welcome Xiao Xiao, but they had no choice. They had to come. Xiao Xiao had only been in middle school for a month or so, but her name had spread far and wide. Even Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang didn't dare mess with her, otherwise she wouldn't have become the fourth of the Big Four as a girl. The reason why she was the last of the Big Four wasn't because she wasn't strong. Quite the contrary. She was even fiercer than Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming, drinking, racing, fighting, and using knives in the first year. This fierce girl was the last because she was the youngest. Fortunately, Xiao Xiao left soon after, and became a legend in the school. Otherwise, Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang would have been crushed by her. Being suppressed by a little girl, where would their faces go? How could they endure this? It wasn't easy for the fierce girl to leave, and after a few years of freedom, Lin Yi came along and crushed them. But because of Lin Yi's existence, Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang didn't mind Xiao Xiao's return at all. They really wanted to see what would happen when the fierce girl fought with Master Lin. Would the phone girl castrate Lin Yi with one slash? Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang were looking forward to it. Why is it still you guys? Hasn't there been any strong characters in Songshan's first school these past few years? Xiao Xiao probed. There is, but he doesn't give a shit about us. I won't lie to you, Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, he took care of me and Liangzi, and Songshan's first school is his world now. No one dares do anything to him, even his followers super strong. Zhu Ruoming didn't hesitate to belittle himself in order to make Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao fight, making Lin Yi sound so strong. I told him to come welcome Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, but he's busy hitting on girls and doesn't have time for us. Yu Dafa and the others looked at Zhu Ruoming with disdain. This guy didn't even tell Lin Yi, he was just trying to drive a wedge between the two, but no one dared speak up for Lin Yi. They'd get on Lin Yi's good side, but they'd also offend Zhu Ruoming and Pin Liang. Lin Yi. Xiao Xiao frowned and took out a small phone from her pocket, showing a picture to Zhu Ruoming. Is this the person? Sister Xiao Xiao, do you know him? Zhu Ruoming looked at Xiao Xiao's phone. The person in the photo was Lin Yi. He's here. Xiao Xiao nodded, satisfied. Looks like I was right to come. This was really a case of walking all over the place in search of iron shoes, only to find it by chance without even looking. Xiao Xiao had been searching for Meng Yaro and Lin Yi in Songshan like a net, but she couldn't find them. In the end, she accidentally showed her phone to a friend, and the friend recognized Meng Yaro right away. It was the daughter of Pengzhan Industries chairman, studying in Songshan's first high. Xiao Xiao was speechless after hearing the answer. She was a transfer student from Songshan's first high, and she hadn't thought about going there before. She didn't expect to find them here. But it was no wonder, since Meng Yaro and Yushu didn't go to Songshan's first high. Pengzhan was afraid that Meng Yaro wouldn't know what was right and wrong, and that she'd become a spoiled little miss in his own school. So he sent her to a public middle school first, and then to Songshan's first high. And so, Xiao Xiao had never seen Meng Yaro or Yushu before, much less Lin Yi, who just transferred here not too long ago. After hearing Xiao Xiao's words, Ruoming and Pinliang were like two oppressed refugees who saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So Xiao Xiao was here to get even with Lin Yi? That was great. They couldn't do anything to Lin Yi, but Xiao Xiao could. Yeah, Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, do you have a grudge against him? Pinliang asked. A grudge? Xiao Xiao blinked. Did she really have a grudge against Lin Yi? It was as if the conflict from before wasn't a grudge at all. She was looking for Lin Yi because she wanted to race Lin Yi. After being looked down on by Lin Yi, she felt a little indignant, but still said, I guess so. Zhu Ruoming and Pinliang's faces lit up. With Xiao Xiao taking care of Lin Yi, they could just sit back and watch. Xiao Xiao locked the car and strutted into Songshan's first high, with Zhu Ruoming and Pinliang following closely behind her. Tell me about Lin Yi, why don't you? He's hitting on girls. What girls? Xiao Xiao asked Zhu Ruoming and Pinliang as they walked. Xiao Xiao was a little confused. Wasn't Lin Yi Meng Yao's bodyguard? How was he hitting on girls? Could it be that he was with Meng Yaro? He's really close with the commoner beauty of our school, Tang Yun. She didn't come from here in middle school, she only came here in high school, Pinliang said. She's Ming Bro's latest target, but Lin Yi beat her to it. Oh. Xiao Xiao blinked, not expecting Lin Yi to really come to school to hit on girls, and it was Zhu Ruoming's target, too. She couldn't help but look at Zhu Ruoming to see what he had to say. Don't look at me like that. I can't beat him. Zhu Ruoming said hatefully. It was a little self-revealing, but he didn't want to hide it. The more he did, the more it showed Lin Yi's position as the king of the school. That was the only way Xiao Xiao could deal with him. Does anyone else in the school know about this? Xiao Xiao asked. There's probably no one who doesn't know about this. Announcing that Tang Yun is his woman in front of the dean. Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, this guy is even more powerful than you were back then, Pinliang said. The dean didn't dare say anything. Oh. What's his background? Xiao Xiao was curious. Even if Meng Yao's father Pengzhan was a shareholder of the school, a bodyguard shouldn't be this cocky, right? Plus, if he was Meng Yao's bodyguard, why would she let him hit on girls? And let everyone know about it? Could it be that his relationship with Meng Yaro was a secret? I don't know about his background, but I heard that he was a transfer student from a faraway village, but it doesn't seem like it. Pinliang shook his head. He'd be an idiot if he still thought that Lin Yi was some country bumpkin. All right, I understand. Xiao Xiao nodded. It seemed like she needed to change her plan. She'd wanted to act a little flirtatious with Lin Yi in front of Meng Yaro to give him some trouble, but that didn't seem to work now. Chapter 403. I'm here for Lin Yi. Xiao Xiao came looking for Lin Yi just to get back at him. How could a bodyguard be this strong? She just wanted to race with him, but he didn't even care and pushed her car to the side. This was a huge blow to the big sister's reputation. Jifeng jumped in shock when Xiao Xiao went to the dean's office to handle the registration. He'd received a call from Ding Bingong, saying that someone had arranged for a student to come in, but he didn't think that it would be Xiao Xiao. Jifeng knew Xiao Xiao's infamous name all too well. When she just entered middle school, she'd broken the balls of a young master who'd been trying to take advantage of her, and not long after that, she'd stabbed a gangster who'd tried to rob her from outside the school, heavily injuring her. Although neither of those things were Xiao Xiao's fault, and it wasn't her doing it on purpose, it was still a big deal. If it weren't for Bingong saying that someone was protecting her, she'd probably have been expelled already. Fortunately, Xiao Xiao only stayed here for a couple of days before getting bored. She didn't have any opponents, so she transferred schools. But Xiao Xiao's name was already spread far and wide. Be it Zhu Ruoming or Zhong Pingliang, they were both violent young masters, but they weren't as violent as Xiao Xiao. A girl stabbing someone with a knife wasn't something that could be measured with common sense. Plus, this girl seemed to have some background. She hadn't been expelled after these two incidents, so who would dare mess with her? Jifeng felt like his head was about to explode. There was nothing he could do about this Xiao Xiao. She'd lost all her authority as a dean, and one Lin Yi was enough to make him suffer. Now this Xiao Xiao? Fortunately, Lin Yi didn't cause much trouble, only holding hands with girls in front of him. This Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, dared to stab people in front of him. Should he still be the dean? He might as well let Xiao Xiao be the dean. The students were more afraid of Xiao Xiao than they were of him. Xiao Xiao. Welcome back. Jifeng said insincerely. The principal had already greeted her, so what else could a dean like him say? He could only go against his will and express his welcome. Mr. Wang, you don't seem to welcome me very much, do you? Xiao Xiao grinned at Jifeng. How can that be? Wang Jifeng smiled bitterly. He was a failure as the academic affairs dean. Don't worry, Mr. Wang, I'm here to look for someone. I won't cause you any trouble. Xiao Xiao saw the bitter look on Jifeng's face and reassured him. Oh, looking for someone. Okay, which class do you want to go to? Wang Jifeng breathed a sigh of relief. If it was just looking for someone, it would be easy. Class? I don't know either. Right, do you know which class Lin Yi is in? Xiao Xiao asked suddenly. Lin Yi? Wang Jifeng was shocked. You're looking for him? Yeah, is there a problem? Xiao Xiao nodded, grumbling like a woman. I'm looking for him, I finally found him. I'll teach him a lesson. It was no wonder that Xiao Xiao was so agitated, searching the whole of Songshan only to find that Lin Yi was in her old school. Plop. Jifeng almost fainted when he heard Lin Yi's name. You're looking for Lin Yi? Yeah, what's the problem? Xiao Xiao asked. Nothing. Jifeng waved his hand helplessly and sighed. He helped Xiao Xiao with the school registration, but he was wondering why Xiao Xiao was looking for Lin Yi. Judging from her expression, it was as if Lin Yi dumped her. Was she here to get back together with Lin Yi? But what about Tang Yun? Could it be the legendary love triangle? Jifeng felt a headache coming on. It seemed like he'd have to worry about this in the future. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao were together. Sigh, it was up to the heavens. After the registration was done, Jifeng brought Xiao Xiao to the entrance of the 12th grade's class 5. He nodded to the homeroom teacher and personally sent Xiao Xiao into the classroom. Let me introduce a new classmate to everyone, Xiao Xiao. Everyone, please give her a round of applause. Other than Pin Liang and Xiaofu, no one else knew about Xiao Xiao. It was too long ago, and most of the students in the class were only in high school. They didn't know much about Xiao Xiao. But the boys in the class were getting excited. One had to admit that Xiao Xiao's sweet appearance was quite deceiving. If they didn't know about her bad reputation, they'd think that she was a cute little girl. She had the potential to become a school beauty on par with Meng Yaro, Yu Shu, and Tang Yun. That was the boys' first impression. Hello everyone. Please take care of me. Xiao Xiao smiled sweetly. Pin Liang felt goosebumps all over his body. Coming from Xiao Xiao's mouth, it was very suspicious. Xiao Xiao was pretty, but he didn't have any feelings for her. Getting his balls broken wasn't something to be messed with. Xiao Xiao, you sit here. The teacher was trying to arrange a seat for Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao wasn't tall, so the teacher wanted to get her a seat closer to the front. The students who transferred here at this time were usually here to study and prepare for their final exams, and this Xiao Xiao was sent here by the dean himself. She had to have some sort of background. No need, I'll find my own seat. Xiao Xiao didn't wait for the teacher to finish and walked to the last row of the class. Lin Yi frowned. He'd felt that this Xiao Xiao looked familiar, And now that she was walking towards him, he remembered something. This girl, wasn't she the Audi TT girl he met at the food street the other day? She wasn't dressed up as exaggeratedly today, much cuter than that day. But if he looked closely, he could still recognize her. Chapter 404. Chapter 404. Bullsh *. This instincts told him that Xiao Xiao wasn't here for anything good. The girl was sweet and cute, but Lin Yi didn't want to piss her off. He'd be in a lot of trouble if he did. You. Xiao Xiao was pissed off at Lin Yi's words. She was a super beautiful girl in the universe, wasn't she? Why was she being called an idiot by this guy? Kang Xiaobo, who was sitting in front of Lin Yi, had heard Xiao Xiao's words. He was envious of Lin Yi's luck with women, but Lin Yi's mocking words almost made him faint. This guy really didn't know how to take care of women. What about me? If you're here to study, then do whatever you want, but if you're here for something else, don't blame me for kicking you down the stairs. Lin Yi said faintly. I've already stepped on 2 of the big 4, I don't mind stepping on another one. It wasn't as if Lin Yi didn't see what happened at the school gates this morning. In fact, the leader of the 12th year, Yu Dafa, had informed him about the return of the last of the big 4, but Lin Yi wasn't interested in going to greet the big 4. Whoever wanted to go kiss his ass could go, Lin Yi didn't want to go anyway. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that the last of the big 4 was a girl, and the one he'd met at the food street at that time, and so Lin Yi didn't care about her at all. You know? Xiao Xiao didn't expect Lin Yi to know her identity already. I took a look at you from the window. Lin Yi's phone vibrated, and Lin Yi frowned. Stop wasting time, I'll check my messages. Xiao Xiao was furious at Lin Yi's disregard. She'd never been looked down on like this before. She raised her heels and tried to step on Lin Yi's foot, but Lin Yi's eyes didn't even blink as he looked at the text, but before Xiao Xiao's foot could land on his foot, he retreated. Crack. A crisp cracking sound accompanied Xiao Xiao's startled gasp. Xiao Xiao's heel had completely broken from using too much force. Xiao Xiao's face was red with anger as she glared at Lin Yi, but Lin Yi acted like nothing had happened, still looking at his text as if he hadn't heard anything. Could it be a coincidence? Lin Yi didn't dodge on purpose. Xiao Xiao was confused. Wait. Xiao Xiao reacted abruptly. Even if this guy didn't see it, surely he didn't hear the sound of the heel breaking? Wasn't he curious at all? There was only one possibility: Lin Yi did it on purpose. He'd dodged on purpose before, and now, he was pretending not to hear it. Xiao Xiao was so pissed that she wanted to snatch Lin Yi's phone away, but Lin Yi raised his hand slightly as if he was going to send a message, avoiding Xiao Xiao's hand. It was a text from Yu Shu. Yaro Yaro asked me to ask you, why are you messing around again? Did someone come looking for you? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It seemed that Meng Yaro and Yu Shu didn't recognize Xiao Xiao as the person they'd met at the food street that day. He replied, she's here to get even with me, but it's because I accompanied you guys to the food street. Food street? Meng Yaro frowned as she looked at Yu Shu's phone. What food street? What does Lin Yi hitting on girls have to do with food street? Oh, I think I remember. Yu Shu slapped her forehead in realization. Yao Yao, do you remember when there was a delinquent girl blocking our car at the food street, and Shield Bro pushed their car out of the way? You're talking about the Audi TT? Meng Yaro tried her best to recall it. It seemed like it was the same Xiao Xiao today, just dressed differently. Yeah, that's her. Yu Shu nodded. So it's Shield Bro Yao Yao. What do we do? What else can we do? Just ignore her. Since it's not Lin Yi messing around, we don't need to care. Meng Yaro said nonchalantly. Oh, right. We'll take care of Shield Bro when he's messing around. Yu Shu said in agreement. Messing around has nothing to do with us. It's not like he's your boyfriend. What's the rush? Meng Yaro glared at Yu Shu. Oh, it depends on Yaro Yaro if he's my boyfriend or not. Yu Shu stuck her tongue out. What the hell are you talking about? Meng Yaro raged. Open your mouth ? Yu Shu blinked, but opened her mouth obediently. Arth. Meng Yaro reached for Yu Shu's mouth. Oh. It hurts. Yaro Yao, why did you pull my tongue out? It hurts, let go. Yu Shu cried out in pain. I'll pull your tongue out so you don't talk nonsense all the time. Meng Yaro, naturally, wouldn't actually pull her tongue out. She was just trying to scare her. I won't do it again. I won't talk nonsense anymore. It hurts, Yao Yao, you really did it, it hurts. Yushu covered her mouth, almost crying. Lin Yi put his phone back in his pocket before turning to Xiao Xiao. What are you doing? Are you ADHD? Hey, is Meng Yao jealous? Xiao Xiao might look violent on the outside, but she was actually a very sensitive person. She looked at Meng Yao after Lin Yi sent the text, and saw that Meng Yao had lowered her head. She knew that Meng Yao was reading the text. No, she doesn't like me, Lin Yi said faintly. You don't need to think about all this dirty stuff, it's useless. Lin Yi looked at Xiao Xiao's eyes and guessed what she was thinking. Dirty stuff. Say whatever you want, but teach me how to drive or I'll tell everyone about your relationship with Meng Yao. Xiao Xiao didn't care about Lin Yi's threat at all. She turned it around and threatened Lin Yi. Do what you want. What other people don't know can only affect Meng Yao, it doesn't matter to me at all. Lin Yi shrugged. I don't care if you're willing to make an enemy out of yourself, but don't think that Meng Yao's a pushover. She's got a Yushu with her, and she's even stronger than you are. You'd be dead before you know it. Xiao Xiao glared at Lin Yi hatefully. Her threat didn't work, so she could only give up. She'd never met Yushu in person before, but she'd heard of her name a long time ago. Her brother was the head of the Songshan 4, and he was way higher than her, a big 4. Xiao Xiao didn't want to provoke someone like that unless she had a huge grudge against him. She wanted to scare Lin Yi into submission, but he didn't care. Chapter 405. Giving you advice. She's been wanting to kick me out for a long time, but did I? Lin Yi looked at Xiao Xiao like she was an idiot. Her dad's the one paying my salary, not her. Can you stop asking stupid questions like that in the future? Just tell me, are you going to teach me how to race or not? Xiao Xiao hemphed. I don't know how to race, Lin Yi shook his head. I just got my license this month. Take a look if you don't believe me. With that, Lin Yi took out his license and put it in front of Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao was speechless. She looked at the date on the license. It really was this month, but she didn't believe what Lin Yi was saying. You didn't need a license to drive. All right, Lin Yi, we'll see, Xiao Xiao said hatefully. Ha! Lin Yi didn't take Xiao Xiao's words seriously at all. After the first class, Xiao Xiao called Pinliang out of the classroom. Lil sis Xiao Xiao, how's it going? Did you deal with that Lin Yi guy? Pinliang was actually even more anxious than Xiao Xiao. He'd wanted to ask Xiao Xiao if there was any progress, but he didn't dare to just go look for her if she didn't want to. Now that Xiao Xiao was looking for him, naturally, he had to ask. It's not that easy. This guy doesn't listen to reason or force, Xiao Xiao said hatefully. Do you know what his weakness is? I'm not too sure. Pinliang thought. If he knew what his weakness was, he wouldn't be waiting for her to take care of him. He'd take care of him myself. Then do you think there's anything we can use to blackmail Lin Yi? Xiao Xiao continued. Blackmail? Pinliang blinked, not understanding why Xiao Xiao was blackmailing Lin Yi and not teaching Lin Yi a lesson. Lil sis Xiao Xiao, why are you blackmailing him? To achieve a goal, of course. Why are you asking so many questions? Do you know or not? Xiao Xiao frowned impatiently, evidently not wanting to talk about this topic with Pinliang. If you're talking about blackmail, I can't think of anything right now. Maybe I'll go back and think about it, then talk to you. Pinliang hesitated for a long time, unable to come up with a reason. All right, go back then. Xiao Xiao was speechless. How come this Pinliang didn't know anything? Naturally, she didn't put her hopes on Pinliang coming up with a solution. It seemed like she couldn't count on him. Boss, what's wrong with her? Kang Xiaobo looked at Lin Yi with some doubt and asked in a low voice. Who knows? She's crazy. I met her once at the food street. She used her car to block my car. I pushed her away and she asked me to teach her how to race. Lin Yi explained, feeling speechless. I see, but boss, you're quite lucky with women, Kang Xiaobo said enviously. Why aren't there any beautiful girls looking for me? You want me to tell Fen, don't you? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Don't tell her, I'm just fantasizing. Kang Xiaobo quickly shook his head, Right, boss, why didn't you ask me if my parents said anything about Fen after I went back yesterday? If you'd told them about the company first, they might have stopped asking about Fen, and if you hadn't, you wouldn't have been able to separate from Fen under the circumstances yesterday. So there's no point in telling them. Lin Yi analyzed with a smile. Boss, you're the boss. You hit the nail on the head. I told them about the company yesterday, and they really didn't care about me and Fen anymore. Kang Xiaobo nodded, a little excited. But boss, I spent the whole night reading business management books, and I'm still confused. There's a lot of technical terms I don't understand. If you could learn everything in one night, then the world would be full of entrepreneurs. Lin Yi shook his head. You have to do things step by step, you can't get fat in one bite. That's true, I was too impatient. Kang Xiaobo agreed. The main problem now is getting into college. It'd be best if Fen goes to the same school as you. I wonder how she's doing. Lin Yi suggested. I haven't asked about that. How about this, I'll text her later and ask her what she thinks, Kang Xiaobo said. As the two were talking, Xiao Xiao walked in, and Kang Xiaobo gave Lin Yi an ambiguous smile before turning his head away. Xiao Xiao went back to class, thinking about how she could teach Lin Yi a lesson and get him to teach her how to drive, but she couldn't think of anything at the moment. All she could do was stop messing with Lin Yi and stay in a cold war with Lin Yi. She ignored Lin Yi, and Lin Yi, naturally, wouldn't talk to her, either. He was happy to be at peace. Xiao Xiao was thinking about what she could use to blackmail Lin Yi. Her plan to use Meng Yaro and Lin Yi's relationship as a bargaining chip had failed. She could tell that Lin Yi really didn't care, so she had to think of something else. Her phone vibrated in her pocket as she thought about it. She took it out, and was surprised to see that it was a text from Pinliang. Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, I discussed it with Gao Xiaofu. If you want to blackmail Lin Yi, you can go to the bathroom and take a few pictures of him. Is that okay? Xiao Xiao's eyes lit up after reading the text. This was a good idea. All right, go ahead. Lin Yi smiled. Okay, go ahead. Me. Pinliang didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he looked at the text in his hand. Would I let you go if I dared to do that? If I went to the bathroom and took pictures of Lin Yi, wouldn't Lin Yi beat me to death? I don't dare, I'm scared of getting beaten up. But I can keep a lookout for you. Pinliang replied like a gangster, making Xiao Xiao grit her teeth. It seemed like she'd have to do it herself. If Lin Yi didn't give in, she'd threaten him and send his pictures to Meng Yaro and Yu Shu, as well as that commoner beauty. Let's see how embarrassed he'd be then. Men were thick-skinned in certain situations, but Xiao Xiao didn't believe that Lin Yi would be shameless enough to let girls see him pee. Yes, it's decided. Xiao Xiao swung her fist in the air as she made up her mind. The class passed, and Lin Yi didn't go to the bathroom. Xiao Xiao, who'd prepared herself, was a little troubled. Another class passed, and Lin Yi still didn't go to the bathroom. Xiao Xiao was even more troubled. Lin Yi, why aren't you drinking water? Why would I drink water? Plus, what does it have to do with you whether I drink water or not? Aren't you being too nosy? Lin Yi looked at Xiao Xiao, annoyed. Chapter 406. You're the one who's sick. Oh. But Lin Yi didn't believe that Xiao Xiao would be so nice as to remind him to drink water when it was hot. Plus, couldn't he drink water himself if it was hot? Did he need someone to remind him? Xiao Xiao's words did make Lin Yi a little thirsty. He reached into his desk and pulled out an empty bottle. He'd finished the water he'd bought yesterday. Here. Xiao Xiao quickly handed her drink to Lin Yi, waiting for Lin Yi to take it. Question mark. Lin Yi was starting to think that there was something wrong with this Xiao Xiao. She had to be hiding something. Xiao Xiao felt that she was being too friendly, and it was normal for Lin Yi to be suspicious. We're deskmates, after all. My teacher said that deskmates should help each other out. Lin Yi would be an idiot to believe her bullshit, but he was indeed thirsty. He took the bottle from Xiao Xiao and was about to open it when he realized that the cap was unscrewed. Lin Yi frowned. Xiao Xiao wouldn't have done something to the drink, would she? She wouldn't do something that tasteless, would she? Xiao Xiao blushed when she saw Lin Yi's hesitation. I had a sip this morning. Lin Yi was speechless. No wonder the cap was unscrewed. But it wasn't that easy to harm him. Ever since he started practicing the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi's sense of smell and taste had gotten even sharper. He could even detect poisons in food and water. Are you sick? Hepatitis B or AIDS? Lin Yi asked as he took Xiao Xiao's drink. Xiao Xiao was so pissed off that her organs almost exploded. She had hepatitis B and AIDS. What kind of joke was that? She was a pretty girl, wasn't she? If someone else were to drink the water he'd taken a sip from, they'd probably go crazy fighting for it. And this Lin Yi was being so picky. Ask some strange questions. Of course, this was under the assumption that people didn't know Xiao Xiao's personality. If they did, they wouldn't even dare drink her water. Wouldn't that be suicidal? You're the one who's sick. Xiao Xiao exploded. Illiterate. Haven't you read the science reports? Even if there are hepatitis B and AIDS, they can't spread like this. Oh. Lin Yi smiled faintly. He didn't expect this chick to know so much. He opened the bottle and secretly tasted it with his tongue. When he found that there was no difference, he swallowed it. He drank half of it and stuffed the remaining half directly into the desk. I've drunk it. You don't want it anymore? Give me the rest. Xiao Xiao wasn't planning on drinking anything that Lin Yi had drunk from. How could she keep drinking something that had been drunk from another boy? However, Lin Yi's words made her very indignant. He had clearly drunk her drink, yet he was still so arrogant and took the rest as his own. Wasn't this too shameless? No. I'm thirsty. Xiao Xiao wasn't going to let Lin Yi have his way. She grabbed the bottle from his desk and twisted the cap open, chugging the rest of the bottle down her throat before glaring at Lin Yi, panting. She almost choked to death. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Lin Yi didn't really know what to do with this rebellious girl, but he didn't want to argue with her. If she wanted to drink it, then drink it. As long as she didn't cry and puke like the miss, Xiao Xiao didn't think much of it when she drank it, but she regretted it after. How could she drink something that Lin Yi had drunk from? Her first kiss. Just you wait. I'll show you when you need to pee. Xiao Xiao was different from the miss. She didn't like it, but she wouldn't dwell on it. She was just a little annoyed. He tossed the empty bottle into the trash can at the corner of the classroom, only for it to land on Pinliang's head with a loud bang. Pinliang screamed as he stood up, gritting his teeth. Motherfucker, who was it? Who threw it? Do you want to die? Do you want to die? Pinliang was forced to switch seats by Lin Yi, and he sat in the right corner of the classroom. The trash can was not far behind him. There were always lazy students who didn't want to get up to throw the trash, so they just threw it high up in the air. But now that Pinliang sat there, no one dared to throw it. It wouldn't be a joke if they hit the third of the big four. Lin Yi threw it. Xiao Xiao rolled her eyes as she pointed at Lin Yi. She wanted to cause a conflict between Lin Yi and Pinliang, causing some trouble for Lin Yi. If she admitted that she threw it, Pinliang would probably just sit back down and swallow his grievance. What? Pinliang paused, the anger on his face frozen. He felt a little awkward. She wanted him to cause trouble for Lin Yi? He didn't dare do that. Someone as strong as Heibao Bro was crippled by Lin Yi, and his only hope was Zhong Naipao. Before Naipao came back, he wouldn't start a conflict with Lin Yi. Pinliang put away his anger and said awkwardly, "It's fine." His anticlimactic performance was a little embarrassing, but it was better than getting beaten up. He'd been beaten up by Lin Yi a couple of times already, and he'd lost face in front of his classmates. One more time wouldn't make much of a difference. I didn't throw it. If it were me, I wouldn't have thrown an empty bottle. Your head would have burst open a long time ago. Lin Yi said faintly. Huh. Pinliang paused. Lin Yi's words were arrogant, but Pinliang didn't doubt the veracity of Lin Yi's words at all. Lin Yi had no reason to lie to him. There were many situations where Lin Yi didn't have a reason to teach him a lesson. He could have just sent him flying with his chair, so, if Lin Yi said it wasn't him, then it definitely wasn't him. As long as it wasn't Lin Yi, what was there for Pinliang to be afraid of? His anger flared up again. Who? Who is it? Come out now, or you'll be dead if I find out. Pinliang's behavior made everyone in the class look down on him. He'd lost his temper when he heard that it was Lin Yi, But now that Lin Yi said it wasn't him, he was starting to get angry again. But even so, the students didn't dare say anything. After all, Pin Liang didn't dare do anything to Lin Yi, but that didn't mean he wouldn't do the same to other people. Yarrow Yarrow, who threw the bottle just now? Did you throw it? Yu Shu spoke up at that moment, but she purposely raised her voice so that Pin Liang could hear her. Chapter 407. Pissed off Pin Liang felt a little awkward, his face covered in dirt. Yarrow Yarrow threw it. Then it's fine. The crowd looked at him in disdain. Meng Yarrow threw it, and it was fine? How could there be someone this shameless? She was just yelling about how she was going to beat him up. It wasn't me, I haven't finished my drink yet. Meng Yarrow frowned. Naturally, she knew that Yu Shu was messing with Pin Liang, but she didn't want people to misunderstand her. She threw a bottle at Pin Liang? She didn't even want to hit him. Who did he think he was? With that, Meng Yarrow took out her drink from her desk and shook it in front of Yu Shu. Will you die if you don't talk nonsense? I'll pull out your tongue again. Oh. I'll stop, but I won't fall for it again. I won't open my mouth. Yu Shu covered her mouth. Pin Liang's eyes were blazing with fury. Yu Shu was clearly messing with him, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't afford to piss off Yu Shu. Her brother Chen Yutian aside, Yu Shu was Meng Yao's best friend, and he didn't dare piss her off. Pin Liang could only vent his anger on someone else. I'll count to 3. Who threw the bottle? Step out now, or I'll show you what I'm going to do. Pin Liang was really getting agitated. He'd been suppressing his anger time and time again, and now it was all out. He was about to explode. All right, I threw it. Xiao Xiao wasn't expecting this reaction from Pin Liang, but seeing Lin Yi looking at her with a smile on his face, she could only stand up and admit it. Even if she didn't, Lin Yi would expose her anyway. But she was wrong. Lin Yi didn't care about something like this, especially when it was Pin Liang who got beaten up. Even if he died, it had nothing to do with him. Ah! Pin Liang didn't think that it was Xiao Xiao who threw the bottle. His face twisted. Pin Liang felt like he was going to die. He didn't dare piss off Lin Yi, nor did he dare piss off Meng Yarrow and Yu Shu, but Xiao Xiao right now was something he couldn't afford to piss off. Lil sis Xiao Xiao. It's fine now, ha. Pin Liang held his breath as he sat back in his seat. He felt like a balloon, ready to explode at any moment. However, there was nothing he could do. He couldn't afford to offend them, so he could only hide. Pin Liang didn't just embarrass himself a little. The students in the class wanted to laugh, but they didn't dare. Pin Liang, on the other hand, knew that he'd embarrassed himself. He wouldn't have stood up if he'd known this was going to happen. He'd shouted 3 times, and it was all embarrassing. How unlucky. Damn it. Ever since Lin Yi transferred to this class, everything has been going wrong for me. Pin Liang punched the wall angrily. He could only vent his anger on the wall. Brother Liang, bear with it. When Pao Zi returns from the mountain, it will be the time of Lin Yi's death. Xiaofu already knew where Naipao was going, and so he was looking forward to seeing him return after completing his studies. Yeah, but now that he's here, I can't even get Meng Yarrow. My relationship with Meng Yarrow is getting worse and worse. Pin Liang said angrily. Well, those tricks from before aren't working either. Xiaofu was a good strategist, after all. But Liang bro, you need to hurry up. You're graduating soon, and it'll be even harder when you go to university. If we're not in the same faculty, it'll be hard to even see each other. You're right, I need to hurry up. Pin Liang nodded. Do you have any good ideas? None of my ideas are working, and I haven't come up with anything yet. Xiaofu shook his head. Forget it, I'll think of something else. Pin Liang didn't know what to do. The last class ended, and before lunch break, Lin Yi finally stood up to leave the classroom. Xiao Xiao was overjoyed to see him, and quickly gestured to Pin Liang as she called him. You go first, clear all the other boys in the washroom. I don't want to see people using the washroom when I go in. Pin Liang took the order and rushed to the washroom with Xiaofu. They had to clear the washroom before Lin Yi came, otherwise Xiao Xiao wouldn't be happy if there were other people in the men's washroom. Clear the place, all of you, get the hell out of here. Pin Liang didn't dare say anything to Lin Yi, but to these students, he was very cocky. It didn't take long for everyone in the washroom to leave, but there was always an exception. A boy with a cigarette in his mouth walked out from a stall, glaring at Pin Liang. "I say, Liang, you're really something, aren't you? I was just smoking, and you came out." It was Zhu Ruoming. Others might be afraid of Pin Liang, but he wasn't. He was pissed that Pin Liang had disturbed him. Pin Liang wouldn't dare start a fight with Zhu Ruoming normally, but today was different. He curled his lips after Zhu Ruoming was done. "Ming bro, Xiao Xiao has something to do here later. Don't say I didn't warn you, but if you want to stay here and cause trouble, then stay." "Ah, Xiao Xiao has something to do here?" Ruoming paused, the cigarette in his mouth falling to the ground with a thud. He didn't even bother picking it up. "Why didn't you say so earlier?" With that, she ran out of the bathroom, not bothering to talk to Pin Liang anymore. Pin Liang smiled as he watched Zhu Ruoming run away. It didn't take long for the washroom to become empty. Pin Liang and Xiaofu stood at the entrance, one on the left and the other on the right. They were like two-door gods, stopping anyone who wanted to use the washroom from entering. Lin Yi walked to the washroom door and saw Pin Liang and Xiaofu standing there. He was confused. "What are you two doing?" It's nothing, we're waiting for someone here," Pin Liang said quickly. "Boss Lin, you need to use the washroom?" "Welcome, come in." Lin Yi frowned. Was there something wrong with these two? But he still went into the washroom. There wasn't a single soul in the washroom, and Lin Yi subconsciously raised his guard. Pin Liang and Xiaofu weren't good people, so why would they be waiting in front of the washroom? Was there something going on? "Hey, what happened? Did he go in?" Xiao Xiao and Lin Yi walked to the washroom door, but Xiao Xiao was afraid that Lin Yi would notice her. She didn't see Lin Yi walk in. Chapter 408. The toilet rained again. Xiao Xiao nodded, satisfied. "Very well, I'll be going in then. You guys keep watch. Don't worry, lil sis Xiao Xiao." Pin Liang nodded. Xiao Xiao took out her phone and set it to camera mode before tiptoeing into the men's washroom. To be honest, she was quite nervous right now, since this was her first time in the men's washroom. Xiao Xiao had been a rebellious girl all these years, and she didn't even blink when she stabbed someone, but she couldn't help but blush at the thought of going to the men's washroom. Xiao Xiao closed her eyes and decided that she'd just walk over and take a bunch of pictures. She was using it to blackmail Lin Yi anyways, so it didn't matter if the pictures were bad or not. Lin Yi was going easy, but he kept his guard up. Lin Yi's heart tightened when he heard the footsteps behind him, but there was no glass in front of him this time, so he couldn't see what was going on behind him. Lin Yi didn't even need to guess to know that it had something to do with Pin Liang. Why else would he be standing at the door with Xiaofu? What Lin Yi didn't understand was why Pin Liang was so retarded. Using the same trick twice. Didn't he remember the lesson from the artificial rain? The jade had a very small warning, meaning that the person wasn't going to kill him, but there was still some hostility. Since it was an enemy, Lin Yi didn't care anymore. He turned around just like last time. "Since you've used the same trick twice, I'll let you do it again." Xiao Xiao was walking forward with her eyes closed, ready to take a picture of Lin Yi when it started raining. She gasped subconsciously and opened her eyes to see what was going on. What she saw made her face turn pale. This wasn't rain, it was Lin Yi's piss. "Ah!" Xiao Xiao screamed again, covering her eyes subconsciously, but her hand was full of water. It was piss. Xiao Xiao was furious and disgusted. "Lin Yi, I'll kill you." After saying that, she couldn't be bothered to pat Lin Yi anymore. She covered her face and hurriedly ran out of the restroom. Pin Liang and Xiaofu, on the other hand, had been paying attention to what was going on inside the washroom. When Lin Yi used the same trick, Pin Liang knew that this was bad. As expected, Xiao Xiao was drenched in water. She was probably going crazy now, wasn't she? Xiao Xiao stood by the faucet outside the washroom, furiously washing her hair and face with the water. Her body was covered in urine, but there was nothing she could do. She couldn't wash her clothes too, could she? That would be transparent. After washing her hair and face, Xiao Xiao went downstairs. She needed to go buy some clothes and find a hotel to take a shower. She was about to explode. Pin Liang and Xiaofu didn't know what to say as they listened to the Audi TT's engine roar and watched as Xiao Xiao disappeared in her car like a puff of smoke. Xiao Xiao was probably going crazy from the anger this time. She'd better not vent her anger on the two of them later. You two, get in here. Lin Yi was scared out of his wits. He never would have thought that it would be Xiao Xiao who entered the washroom, but when he saw the phone in Xiao Xiao's hand, he could guess what was going on. No wonder this girl was so nice this morning, asking him if he was thirsty, even offering him a drink. She wanted to take a picture of him going to the washroom. Lin Yi felt a little awkward about getting Xiao Xiao drenched in the rain. She wasn't Pin Liang or Gao Xiaofu, after all. She was a girl, and while her motive wasn't pure, wasn't what he did a little too dirty to her? Whatever, he'd let her learn a lesson. Otherwise, she'd bother him all day. But Pin Liang and Xiaofu were guarding the washroom door. Lin Yi wasn't planning on letting them go so easily. It was obvious that Xiao Xiao was the main culprit, and these two were accomplices. Why else would they be guarding the door? Pin Liang and Xiaofu looked at each other, a bitter smile on their faces. They thought that after Xiao Xiao took a picture of Lin Yi would focus all his attention on her and ignore the two door gods. But now that Xiao Xiao was gone, it was only the two of them left. Pin Liang wanted to run, but he knew that as long as he was in Class 5, he wouldn't be able to escape. Lin Yi would catch him sooner or later, and it was only a matter of time before he got beaten up. He might as well make it as soon as possible. Pin Liang and Xiaofu walked into the washroom with their heads down, a little scared. Boss Lin Yi, it's not our fault, it's Xiao Xiao, she forced us to do this, is that so? Lin Yi asked faintly. Yes, it's her. Pin Liang nodded quickly. Boss Lin Yi, you don't know how strong Xiao Xiao used to be. She's the fourth of us big four, the last one, but that's because she's a girl. She's a lot fiercer than us. Pin Liang wanted to divert Lin Yi's attention to Xiao Xiao so that he wouldn't pay attention to them. Oh, is that so? Lin Yi looked at Pin Liang. He wanted to know what kind of person Xiao Xiao was, or he'd be annoyed by her every day. Yes, there was a boy who tried to hit on her, and she kicked him in the balls. Also, there was a gangster who tried to rob the school, and she stabbed him until he was crippled. Pin Liang said. So, Boss Lin Yi, she's too fierce, we're not even on the same level, we can't not help her, I see. Lin Yi nodded. Then let's forget about it. Thank you, Boss Lin Yi. Thank you, Boss Lin Yi. Pin Liang and Xiaofu were overjoyed that Lin Yi wasn't going to pursue the matter anymore. Don't celebrate too early. Let's not forget about this matter. There are other things. Lin Yi said faintly. Even if she forced you to do it, what do you think would happen to you two if I told her that the two of you had already been drenched in the rain once, but I didn't warn her and let her take the risk? What do you think would happen to the two of you? Wouldn't you get your balls kicked in? What? Pin Liang was stunned, not expecting Lin Yi to threaten him, but he was really scared now. If Lin Yi really told Xiao Xiao about this, he'd die a horrible death. Xiao Xiao would probably drive him to the toilet with a knife and force him to eat shit as an apology. Chapter 409. Chapter 409. I'll go see you. Pin Liang scolded himself silently. The reason why he didn't mention it was because it was simply too embarrassing. He, Nai Pao, and Xiaofu hadn't been able to beat Lin Yi at all, and they'd been put in such a difficult position. How could he talk about something as embarrassing as that? But now he regretted it. If he'd known this would happen, he'd have warned Xiao Xiao even if it meant embarrassing himself. He was done for now. If Xiao Xiao found out the truth, the consequences would be dire. Boss Lin Yi, you wouldn't do this to us, would you? Pin Liang begged, his face bitter. He'd rather get beaten up by Lin Yi. Two choices. 1. Kneel in the toilet for 10 minutes and leave, or I'll tell Xiao Xiao the truth. Lin Yi said. All right, I'll kneel. Pin Liang felt disgusted by kneeling in a toilet full of urine, but compared to telling Xiao Xiao the truth, he'd rather kneel on the ground, or he'd die a horrible death. All right, I'm leaving. Lin Yi wasn't in the mood to deal with these two idiots. He just wanted to teach them a lesson, and whether they kneeled or not depended on themselves. Lin Yi said, you can try to fake it, but I might be everywhere. Don't worry, Boss Lin Yi. Pin Liang shivered. He'd wanted to wait for Lin Yi to leave before leaving, But Lin Yi's words scared the shit out of him. Come to think of it, Lin Yi really did seem to be everywhere. Every time he was feeling good, he'd be there to mess things up. Pin Liang was speechless. Was Lin Yi sent by the heavens to purposely go against him? Can Xiaofu and I take turns kneeling? We'll have someone to keep a lookout. Whatever. 10 minutes per person. As long as it's enough. Lin Yi turned around and left. Kang Xiaobo took advantage of the lunch break to look for Xiao Fen. The knot in Xiao Fen's heart was untied, and she became much more cheerful. Kang Xiaobo's heart seemed to have been set, and his contact with Xiao Fen became more frequent. Lin Yi guessed that he was looking for Xiao Fen to discuss the future of university, so he didn't disturb him. Instead, he called Tang Yun, but he was surprised to know that Tang Yun wasn't at school either. She went to the hospital to take care of her father for lunch. During the day, Mrs. Tang resumed her business at the food street behind the school. The task of bringing lunch to Tang Jucheng fell on Tang Yun's shoulders. Mrs. Tang prepared the food at home and brought it to school. She then set up a stall to do business, and Tang Yun brought the food to the hospital. Why didn't you say anything? I'll just send you there, Lin Yi frowned. Tang Yun took the bus to the hospital alone, and it would take up a lot of time. I was afraid that you would be busy, so I didn't want to disturb you. Tang Yun was happy to hear Lin Yi's words. I thought you sent Kang Xiaobo back to find Xiao Fen. Why would I send him back if he's looking for Xiao Fen? He's not my wife. Lin Yi was speechless. Idiot. Tang Yun understood the meaning behind Lin Yi's words. If she was his wife, why would he send her back? What did he mean by sending her to the hospital? Was she his wife? Haha, I'll go pick you up, and I'll check on Uncle Tang's condition. Lin Yi had nothing to do in school, and it would be troublesome when Xiao Xiao came back. It was better to leave now. Okay, I'll wait for you in the ward, Tang Yun said. Tang Yun wanted to reject it at first. Lunchtime was tight, and she didn't want Lin Yi to run around, but he said he wanted to check on her father, so she agreed. See you later. Lin Yi hung up and went to the food street behind the school to get his car. Tang Yun put her phone away happily, but when she turned around, she saw her father smiling at her. Tang Yun felt a little embarrassed. Mr. and Mrs. Tang didn't object to Lin Yi's forceful intervention. Tang Jucheng had to thank Lin Yi for the surgery. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, he would still be lying at home. Is it Lin Yi? Tang Jucheng asked. Yeah. He said he wanted to see you. Tang Yun knew that Lin Yi had medical skills, but she thought he only knew a little. But after what happened yesterday, Fatty Lai kneeling on the ground and crying, Liu Tianyi's flattery towards Lin Yi, and Xu Amin's respect towards Lin Yi, Tang Yun was completely shocked. Even when she arrived at the hospital, she was still unable to calm her excitement for a long time. It seemed that she had underestimated Lin Yi. Lin Yi wasn't like what she had imagined, a rich young master who used his family's money to bully others. Lin Yi's arrogance was completely based on his own ability. If it wasn't for Lin Yi's ability, why would he be respected and recognized by so many people? Fatty Lai didn't know the details. Maybe he was hot-headed, but Liu Tianyi and Xu Amin wouldn't be hot-headed as well, would they? It seemed that Lin Yi's medical skills weren't as simple as a little bit. It was extremely shocking. Tang Yun was proud of Lin Yi, but at the same time, her fragile heart was also a little hesitant. Lin Yi was so outstanding. Was she worthy of him? Would he not want her in the future? Her family didn't have money, and she couldn't help him much. The only thing she could say was that she was a little prettier, but there were so many beautiful girls out there. Why did Lin Yi choose her? Tang Yun didn't want to think about these things. They were still young, and there was still a long way to go before marriage. But seeing how outstanding Lin Yi was, Tang Yun couldn't help but think about these things. Lin Yi prepared to go to the food street behind the school to get his car. Nowadays, the food street vendors had reserved a parking space for Lin Yi every day. Who would dare to mess with this young master? Mrs. Tang's business was booming as well, and no one dared to be jealous of her anymore. Anyone who dared to be jealous would be looking for death. Everyone, including Zhong Biaoqiao, was very polite to Mrs. Tang. Mrs. Tang hadn't come to the stall for a few days, and no one dared to take her spot. When Mrs. Tang came, everyone greeted her warmly and asked why she hadn't come for a few days. Mrs. Tang was flattered, but at the same time, she felt more and more grateful to Lin Yi. Her family was finally doing well. She believed that things would only get better and better in the future. Her business was doing well, and her man had his surgery. She believed that he would be able to stand up soon. Even if he couldn't walk normally, it wouldn't be a problem if he limped a little. He would be able to help her with her work. Mrs. Tang's face was full of smiles as she thought about her bright future. She looked a few years younger, and the male vendors all looked at her in awe. Chapter 410. Welcome. Lin Yi saw that Mrs. Tang had opened her stall in the food street behind the school. He walked over to greet her with a smile. Auntie, business back? Yi, it's been a few days. Your Uncle Tang's fine now, so I'm going to open my stall. Mrs. Tang had wanted to talk to Lin Yi a bit, but Lin Yi took out his car keys. You going out? I'm going to the hospital to pick her up and see Uncle Tang. Lin Yi nodded. Then hurry up and go. Be careful on the way. Mrs. Tang was overjoyed to hear that Lin Yi was going to pick up her daughter. Nothing was happier than seeing how well Lin Yi treated her daughter. Right, have you eaten yet? Not yet, we'll talk about it when we get there. Lin Yi didn't hide it. Just in time, I've got 2 chicken drumsticks here. Eat them first, don't starve. Mrs. Tang said as she quickly put some seasoning on the drumsticks and handed them to Lin Yi. Lin Yi accepted the drumstick with a smile, nodded to Mrs. Tang, and got in the car to leave. Ling Shan rushed to Songshan's First People's Hospital the moment she received the report. The 6th, it was already the 6th. Ling Shan rubbed her temples, feeling the pressure. It hadn't even been a week, and there were already 6 cases of homeless, beggars, or disabled people getting their kidneys cut off and dumped near the hospital. This wasn't just a simple crime anymore. Ling Shan guessed that it might be the work of a criminal gang. How is it? Ling Shan got out of the police car and saw her subordinate, Liu Wangli, standing in a corner with the police tape. Captain Song, the victim's been sent to the emergency room, and I'm sending people to investigate the scene. This isn't the first crime scene. The victim's left kidney was cut off and dumped here. The time of the crime is estimated to be around 4 in the morning, and the victim was left here around 11 in the afternoon. There's too many cars going in and out of the hospital, and we haven't found any witnesses yet. Wang Li reported with a bitter smile. He knew that Ling Shan was under a lot of pressure. This was the 6th case, and it wasn't a joke. Although the higher-ups didn't specify the time to solve the case, it was only a matter of time. The victims were all beggars, homeless people, and handicapped people, but they were still important to Ling Shan. No matter who they were, Ling Shan had to work hard to solve this case, bring the mastermind to justice. Ling Shan nodded weakly. How's Liu Buojia? Liu Buojia was the victim of the murder maniac from before. Although Liu Buojia didn't say anything, Ling Shan hadn't stopped investigating him. Finally, she found a rather suspicious clue. At around 6 o'clock on the night Liu Buojia's family was killed, someone called the police from the public phone booth in Liu Buojia's neighborhood. According to the operator who answered the call, there was a man who panicked and said that he had discovered an organ trafficking ring and that it was likely that they had already discovered him. He wanted to seek police protection. He didn't make any sense at the time, and he didn't give his contact number either. The operator could only ask the police to contact the public phone booth, but no one picked up. They sent people to the phone booth, but they didn't find anything out of the ordinary, so they could only retreat. The incident passed just like that, because no one paid much attention to it. However, Ling Shan only found this clue when she checked the call records that night. Organ trafficking ring? Could it be related to the 6 kidney cases? Only now did Ling Shan feel that Liu Buojia's family had something to do with the kidney case. Liu Buojia still hasn't woken up, and is on a ventilator every day. The doctor said that once the ventilator is removed, he'll die. Liu Wangli sighed and shook his head with a bitter smile. What he meant was that there was no need to waste any energy. Ling Shan frowned, but there was nothing she could do. She knew Liu Buojia's situation, and she always hoped for a miracle to happen. Even if it was just for a moment, it'd be enough to give the police some clues, but the miracle didn't happen. Before Liu Buojia was attacked, he kept quiet every day, as if he was afraid of something. If he got tired of being interrogated, he'd tell Ling Shan that his family was already dead, that he was already miserable enough, and that he didn't want to die, so he asked Lingshan to let him go. At that time, Liu Buojia was still in the hospital, so Lingshan wasn't too worried. She thought that after Liu Buojia was discharged, she'd strengthen her psychological attack, and she'd be able to get some information out of him. But something unexpected happened. Beep. Lin Yi pressed on the car horn twice, wondering why this Song girl was blocking the entrance of the hospital. Was she even going to let him pass? When the other cars saw Lingshan and Liu Wangli standing in front of the hospital in uniform, as well as the police investigating something, they all took a detour and entered the hospital from the back door. Only Lin Yi dared to press on the horn. "What are you honking for? Don't you know how to enter from the back door?" Lingshan was a little annoyed. She was thinking about the case in her head when a car horn interrupted her. She couldn't help but frown. "You think everyone's like you, getting into the police force through the back door?" Lin Yi curled his lips, mocking her. Lingshan only realized now that it was Lin Yi who was pressing on the horn. Her face paled when she heard what he said. "What did you say? Who's getting in through the back door?" "Who knows?" Lin Yi curled his lips. "Move aside, I still have things to do, I don't have time to waste with you." With that, Lin Yi started the car, wanting to enter the hospital. "Wait." Lingshan suddenly stood in front of Lin Yi's car, not letting him go. The more impatient Lin Yi was, the more Lingshan didn't want him to get what he wanted. "I have something to talk to you about." Lin Yi slammed on the brakes, stopping the car. He was a little speechless. "I say, dumb girl, even if your crime-solving rate is low, you don't have to think about suicide, do you? Even if you want me to run you over, you should find a place with no one around, right? You're trying to scam me in front of all your underlings. I won't be able to explain myself even if I run you over. You." Lingshan was furious, gritting her teeth as she glared at Lin Yi. "If you call me dumb girl again, or that I got into the police force through the back door, I won't be polite to you anymore." "So you've been very polite to me all this time?" Lin Yi laughed. "Then I'd really like to see what you'll be like." "You're welcome to do so." Chapter 4:11. Did you think I'm a fortune teller? In actuality, the police had heard it, but they'd misunderstood, thinking that Lin Yi was Lingshan's rumored boyfriend. Who would dare talk to Lingshan like that? Lingshan wouldn't let him live, would she? "Lin Yi, I need to talk to you about something serious." Lingshan gritted her teeth as she pulled open Lin Yi's passenger door and got in. It didn't matter if Lin Yi was lucky or lucky in the previous cases, he'd solved them anyway. Lingshan just so happened to run into Lin Yi, and since the guy was still so cocky, she'd use him again. Let's see if he can solve another case. "Oh, what is it?" Lin Yi rolled his eyes. She was begging him to do something right after scolding him. This woman's brain structure was quite something. "Don't come to me if it's serious, I'm pressed for time." Lingshan's eyes widened. What did she mean by don't come to him for serious business? Did she have to come to him for anything other than serious business? "I'll give you a minute speak." Lin Yi parked the car in the hospital's parking lot, and someone came to collect the parking fee. Lin Yi pointed at Lingshan. "This is our captain's Song, she's here for a case." The person who collected the parking fee knew that there was a case near the hospital, and so he took one look at Lingshan's uniform before sticking a free sticker in front of Lin Yi's car window and leaving. Lin Yi didn't really care about the few kwai parking fee, but the problem was that this old woman had overcharged Lin Yi 5 kwai last time, saying that Lin Yi had parked for 2 hours when Lin Yi had parked for an hour. She'd even pointed at the time on the sticker and showed it to Lin Yi. Lin Yi knew that the woman must have written the time a little earlier when he parked, but he couldn't be bothered to argue with her. He paid the money and left. But the school only had a 1-hour lunch break, so how could he park for 2 hours? Lingshan was here this time, and he'd be able to take advantage of her. Lingshan didn't know what was going on, but seeing how Lin Yi was using her to save 5 kwai on parking fees, she glared at Lin Yi with disdain. There's been a lot of cases of beggars, homeless people, and disabled people getting their kidneys cut off and dumped in front of the hospital. Do you know about that? I think I heard it mentioned in the news. When Lin Yi was driving in the morning, he seemed to have heard it mentioned on the radio, but he didn't pay attention to it. Lin Yi rarely paid attention to things that had nothing to do with him. What do you think? Do you know who the murderer is? Lingshan asked. Lin Yi looked at Lingshan oddly. I don't think you should be asking me that. Oh. Ling Shan blinked. Do you think I'm a fortune teller who can predict the future? Only a master can answer your question, Lin Yi shrugged. All right, it's a waste of time talking to you. I'm leaving. Wait. Ling Shan pulled Lin Yi back. Then how did you catch those bank robbers last time? How did I catch them last time? I told you. Lin Yi was getting impatient, but Ling Shan wouldn't let him go if he didn't explain things clearly. He could only patiently explain. I can help you catch criminals, but you have to give me a range. I'll only help you when you're sure. Otherwise, I'll really become a god. Ling Shan thought about it. Lin Yi was right. If he knew everything, then he'd really be a fortune teller. Then I'll look for you when I have something. Ling Shan didn't want to let Lin Yi go. All right. Lin Yi nodded and walked into the hospital. Ling Shan followed Lin Yi to the hospital. She wanted to check on Bojia's condition and ask the doctor if there was any hope for him to wake up. The police officers guarding Bojia's room all stood up and saluted when they saw Ling Shan. Captain Song. Ling Shan waved her hand. Is the doctor here? The doctor is in the office. Captain Song, follow me. One of the officers said. Ling Shan nodded and followed the officer to the doctor's office. The officer introduced, this is Bojia's main doctor, Dr. Yang. Hello, Dr. Yang, I'm Ling Shan. Ling Shan politely shook hands with the doctor. Dr. Yang, how's Bojia's condition? Is there any chance of him waking up? I've tried my best, but there's no effect. Dr. Yang smiled apologetically. Captain Song, there's nothing else I can do. I can only maintain it for now, so you're saying that there's no chance for him to recover from our hospital? Ling Shan looked at the doctor, disappointed. Is there any hope if we transfer him to another hospital? Our Songshan's first hospital is the best hospital in Songshan. We can only transfer him to another hospital out of town, but I'm afraid the patient can't handle it. Dr. Yang shook his head. So there's really no hope. Ling Shan sighed. This Bujia would have caught the culprit if he'd told them the truth earlier. At that time, that psychopathic murderer might not even bother looking for him anymore. It's not that there's no hope. Dr. Yang hesitated. If you know Professor Guan Shuamin from Songshan's Medical University, you can try acupuncture. But he doesn't do it easily, Professor Guan. Ling Shan, naturally, had heard of this name. He was a famous Eastern doctor in Songshan, known as Miracle Dr. Guan. Huaijuan had a good relationship with him, and had been treating him all this time. Ling Shan wouldn't be so sure if it were someone else, but with Huaijuan's help, Professor Guan would definitely be able to make him do it. Ling Shan felt relieved at the thought. Thank you, Dr. Yang, I think I have an idea. Haha, it's nothing, I'm just trying my best. Dr. Yang nodded with a smile. Ling Shan dialed Huaijuan's number after leaving the doctor's office. Song, you're in trouble again? Huaijuan picked up the phone with a smile on his face. He'd been in a good mood lately. Not only had he been promoted, but most importantly, the number of times his injuries had flared up had decreased. It had been half a month now, from once a day to once a day. This was only the first stage of treatment, and the results were already so obvious. Lin Yi said that he'd change his bandages and add acupuncture after a month. Just how powerful would that be? Huaijuan was looking forward to it. Young bro. Ling Shan was a little embarrassed. Huaijuan had hit the nail on the head. I do have something to ask of you. Speak, what is it? Huaijuan had always treated Ling Shan as his little sister, and so he took special care of her. Chapter 412. You still need to find Lin Yi. Who is it? Huaijuan asked. Guan Shuamin, Professor Guan, the one who's been treating you, young bro. Ling Shan called Huaijuan bro Yang in private. It sounded more intimate. Oh, Elder Guan. Huaijuan blinked. If you're looking for him, then don't go looking for him. Go look for Lin Yi. Look for Lin Yi. Ling Shan blinked as well. What for? If you look for Elder Guan, he'll recommend Lin Yi to you as well. Huaijuan smiled. Ling Shan was still a little puzzled. Why was Huaijuan telling her to look for Lin Yi all the time? Was Lin Yi omnipotent? She'd asked him to help her catch the culprit, but he didn't know about it. Why would he have a solution for Liu Bojia? But Huaijuan must have his reasons for saying that. Ling Shan didn't trust Lin Yi that much, but she trusted Huaijuan 100%. With that thought, she dialed up Lin Yi. Lin Yi pushed open Tang Juqing's door and walked in. The father and daughter were talking about something, and Tang Yun immediately shut her mouth when she saw Lin Yi. Her face reddened. You. Why didn't you knock? Tang Juqing was all smiles. Lil Yi, you're here, come sit. Yin, get your classmate some water and peel an apple. No need for that. Lin Yi waved his hand. We don't have much time for lunch. I'll go back with Tang Yun after checking on your injuries. All right, what should I do? Juqing was very happy his daughter had told him about the miraculous scene yesterday, and he was both satisfied and panicking at the same time. He didn't know if Lin Yi would be interested in his daughter. It's fine, Uncle Tang, you can just lie on your side. Lin Yi walked over with a smile and took out a box of silver needles from his pocket. It was the one he used to perform acupuncture on Liu Zhenhu, and he'd kept it with him ever since. Okay. Tang Juqing quickly cooperated with Lin Yi and turned his body sideways. Lin Yi seemed to be casually poking a needle into Tang Juqing's waist, making Tang Yin jump in fright. She patted her chest in relief when she saw that her father didn't seem to be affected by it. Do you feel anything? Lin Yi asked. No. Tang Juqing shook his head slightly. Lin Yi frowned and began to turn the needle handle in his hand. Then he asked, do you feel anything now? No. Tang Juqing shook his head again. Lin Yi's expression froze slightly. Juqing didn't see it, but Tang Yun did. She couldn't help but feel nervous, but she didn't dare to ask. She was afraid that her father's happy mood would fall to the bottom again. How do you feel here? Lin Yi changed the position of the needle. A little, numb. Tang Juqing responded this time. My waist feels itchy. Ah. It's all right, it's not a big problem. Lin Yi smiled. Is that so? That's good, that's good. Juqing was overjoyed to hear Lin Yi's words. His daughter had told him a lot about how amazing Lin Yi was before Lin Yi came, and now that he saw Lin Yi's amazing acupuncture skills, he was even more impressed. Uncle Tang, forgive me for being blunt. Your left leg is fine, but there's something wrong with your right leg. Lin Yi didn't hide it. He didn't need to hide it anymore, he'd find out after a few days. Ah, only one leg. Isn't that a cripple? Tang Yin said subconsciously, startled. She realized that it wasn't the right thing to say. Her father would be upset if she said that in front of him. Oh? Only one leg can move. That's not bad. It's much better than lying on the bed and not being able to do anything. She can even help her mom. Juqing didn't think too much about it. It was only a short moment of shock before he recovered his happiness. It was fine as long as he was stronger than he was now. What was the point of asking so much? It's good that you have this mentality, Uncle Tang. Lin Yi thought that he'd have to comfort Juqing, but he didn't expect him to be so open-minded. It saved him a lot of words. But don't be discouraged, Uncle Tang. I'll give you acupuncture a few times when you're fully recovered. Then, I'll bring the herbs from my hometown. You can get rid of your crutches then. Really? Tang Yin had already accepted reality helplessly, but her eyes widened when she heard that Lin Yi had a way. There's a way. Uncle Tang's situation is similar to Fen's, so of course there's a way. Lin Yi smiled. So Uncle Tang doesn't have to worry about it. It's just a neurological problem. That's good, that's good. Juqing was overjoyed when he heard this unexpected surprise. He thought that there was no hope, but Lin Yi said that it could be cured. Thank you. Tang Yin pursed her lips. There were many words of gratitude in her heart, but when it came to her mouth, it became the simplest word. Heh, isn't it a piece of cake? Lin Yi smiled. His phone rang. Lin Yi made an apologetic gesture and took out his phone. He looked at the caller ID and didn't want to pick it up. It was Ling Shan. What was this girl doing calling him again? Was there something else? Who's calling? Why aren't you picking it up? Tang Yin looked at Lin Yi curiously. Miss Braindead, Lin Yi said and hung up. Miss Braindead? Tang Yin paused. She didn't know who Lin Yi was talking about. It's Song Ling Shan. You've met her before. I helped her rescue a hostage last time, Lin Yi said. Oh, Officer Song. She must be looking for you for something important, right? Why aren't you picking up? Tang Yin remembered. What if you need her help in the future? Tang Yin had been struggling at the bottom of society for too long. To her, it was good to have a friend, especially a powerful police officer. It would be easier for her to help in the future. Trouble her? It's good enough that she doesn't trouble me. Lin Yi's phone rang again. It was Lingshan again. Lin Yi had no choice but to pick it up. Hello. Miss Braindead, are you done? What else do you want? Lin Yi and Tang Yin didn't stop even after a few sentences. Naturally, he was angry. Lingshan didn't know how to pick a time to call. Say. Lingshan wanted to say, who are you calling Miss Braindead, but she held it back. She needed help from Lin Yi, so she was prepared to be scolded. All right, Miss Braindead wants to talk to you. Chapter 413. Chapter 413, Changing Tactics. Speak, what's up? Lin Yi was happy. He didn't really want to pick up the call, but what else could Lin Yi say when Lingshan admitted that she was Miss Braindead? Lingshan was overjoyed upon hearing Lin Yi's words. This Lin Yi was amenable to coaxing, but not coercion. It seemed like she'd have to change her tactics a little when she asked for help, making it hard for him to reject. The person that the psycho stabbed that day, do you have a way to wake him up? Lingshan asked. Which one? The one in Guan Xin's room? Lin Yi thought about it. The only psycho he knew was the one from that day. That's right, he's unconscious right now, and he's being kept alive by a ventilator. Do you have a way? Lingshan asked hopefully. Oh. Lin Yi had actually checked on Bojia's condition that day. It was very serious. Can you do it or not? Lingshan pressed after seeing Lin Yi's silence. What's in it for you? Lin Yi asked after some thought. Benefits. Lingshan was about to say nope, but remembered that Lin Yi wasn't part of the police force, and he had no obligation to help her all the time. I can apply for an honorary police officer position for you, and you'll get some salary every month, but not a lot. Not interested. Lin Yi rejected immediately. What kind of benefits was that? He'd probably be forced to work for Lingshan all day just for that little bit of salary. Then what do you want? Lingshan asked. I'll write it down first, I can't think of anything right now. Lin Yi didn't want any benefits right now, but he was just saying it out of convenience. Helping Miss Song was the same as helping Huaijuan, after all. It had to be Huaijuan's doing, after all, and he had to give Huaijuan some face even if he didn't help Lingshan. Where's the patient? I'll go take a look. He's in the ICU on the 12th floor, you'll see him when you get up. We have people at the door. Lingshan was still wondering what benefits Lin Yi would ask for, not expecting Lin Yi to agree so easily. Okay, wait for me. Lin Yi hung up and turned to Tang Yun. Are you coming with me? Go and do your work. I won't get involved. I'll accompany Dad down there. Tang Yin hesitated. Lingshan was very pretty, and it gave her a sense of urgency, but from the looks of things, Lin Yi didn't like Lingshan at all. He wouldn't be calling her an idiot otherwise. Moreover, Lin Yi wasn't there to play. He was busy with official business. Okay, I'll find you later. Let's go back to school together. Lin Yi nodded and walked out of the ward. Lin Yi took the elevator to the 12th floor. Sure enough, as soon as he stepped out of the elevator, he saw two police officers sitting at the door of a ward. Lin Yi quickly walked over. Mr. Lin Yi, right? Captain Song is waiting for you inside. The police officers at the door nodded to Lin Yi, indicating that he could go in. Lin Yi walked in and saw a large ventilator with a person lying under it. It was Liu Bojia from the other day. He was very thin and haggard. Lingshan was standing beside the ventilator, not knowing what to do. She quickly asked when she saw Lin Yi come in. Lin Yi, do you have any ideas? Lin Yi didn't say anything. He walked over and checked on Bojia's condition. After a while, he slowly shook his head and said, it's very troublesome. Troublesome, but Lin Yi didn't say it was impossible. It meant that he had a way. Lingshan's nervous heart relaxed. You have a way. Yes, but I don't think it's worth it. It's a waste of energy. Lin Yi shook his head. Lingshan gritted her teeth. She didn't think that Lin Yi was putting on airs. Dr. Yang had already explained the situation. Even the hospital couldn't do anything. If Lin Yi had a way, it wouldn't be easy. Miss Braindead, I'm begging you, okay? Ling Shan clenched her teeth as she spat out the words. She knew that Lin Yi could be persuaded by reason, but not cowed by force. Although the nickname Miss Braindead made her want to die and drag Lin Yi down with her, she had to endure it for the sake of Lin Yi's work. She swore to herself that if Lin Yi were to fall into her hands one day, she wouldn't let him get away scot-free. I'll try. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. He couldn't reject Ling Shan's request. But my medical skills aren't good enough. I can only wake him up, but I can't guarantee how long he'll live. There are too many problems in his body. So you're saying that you still have a chance to heal him and not just wake him up? Ling Shan understood what Lin Yi meant. I can't, but my old man is close. Lin Yi said. But my old man won't come. If you want him to die, I'll wake him up now. If you want him to live, don't touch him for now. Let him lie down first. Ling Shan was in a difficult position. She wanted to find clues as soon as possible, but if Lin Yi had a chance to heal Bojiao, she would rather not have this clue. She didn't have a way before. Getting Bojiao to say a few words was already good enough, but now that Lin Yi had a way, she couldn't sacrifice an innocent person for nothing. Call me when you're done. I'm going back. Lin Yi knew what Ling Shan was thinking. He smiled. Lunch break time is limited. Don't think about it. Wait until you have a way to heal him. Ling Shan shook her head. Oh. Lin Yi was surprised. He didn't expect Ling Shan to be this decisive. He had underestimated her. Her sense of justice and responsibility was quite strong. All right, I'll try my best. I'll give you an answer as soon as possible. This time, it was Ling Shan's turn to be surprised. She didn't expect Lin Yi to say something like that. Every time she looked for Lin Yi, he'd always give her all sorts of excuses. But this time, he said that he'd try his best, and as soon as possible. Ling Shan couldn't get used to this. Wasn't this a little too fast? Could it be that her soft attitude brought about the effect? It had to be. As expected, he was amenable to coaxing but not coercion. Then Miss Braindead will wait for your call. Ling Shan felt that it was very awkward to say it out, but fortunately, her men were outside. No one could see them. She could just treat it as a whisper to Lin Yi. As long as the kid was willing to help, it didn't matter if she was a little braindead. Who asked him to be stronger than her? Lin Yi acted as if he didn't know Ling Shan at all. She'd called him Miss Braindead 3 times already, and was willing to call herself Miss Braindead for help. Chapter 414. A strange analysis report. Ling Shan finally exploded as she watched Lin Yi leave. She clenched her teeth and swung her fist at the wall. Lin Yi, I'll punch you to death. You bastard. How dare you give me a nickname? Miss Braindead. Miss Braindead. You're Miss Braindead. Peng. 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 Ling Shan threw 5 punches in one go, only stopping when her hands started hurting. She stormed out of the room, her 2 lackeys sitting up straight. They'd heard the commotion in the room, too, and knew that Ling Shan was pissed. They didn't want to mess with her right now. Fatty Lai couldn't believe his eyes. His old man was awake. Not only was he awake, he could talk and eat. Dad, are you all right? Are you all right? Fatty Lai was so excited that he almost fainted. I'll go get the doctor, wait for me. Fatty Lai dashed out of the room and shouted, Doctor? Where's the doctor? Someone come. What's wrong? What's wrong? The doctor thought that something had happened in the room and rushed over. But when he entered the room, he realized that Fatty Lai's father was awake. Doctor, please check on my dad, is he all right? What Fatty Lai wanted to do the most right now was run to Lin Yi's side and kowtow a couple of times. What a benefactor. The doctor frantically called for a nurse to do a checkup on the old man, but the report surprised him even more. All the indicators were clearly much better than before, and while the uremia wasn't completely cured, it was getting better. How is this possible? How is this possible? The doctor stared at the report in his hands, dumbfounded. He'd just told Chang Tian yesterday that there was nothing he could do, so why was Elder Lai awake today? This didn't make any sense. Right. The doctor suddenly remembered something. This Lai Chang'e had gotten some pill of life extension and toxin cleansing from God knows where and wanted to give it to Elder Lai. Could it be that the pill was working? Other than that, he couldn't think of any other possibilities. At that thought, the doctor hurriedly asked, Mr. Lai, did you give your father that pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? I've taken it. How was it? It's effective, right? I told you it would work. Fatty Lai was grinning from ear to ear as he looked at the report. Not even half of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing had such miraculous effects. If he could get his hands on a whole pill, wouldn't his father's illness be under control immediately? Fatty Lai, on the other hand, didn't expect his father to fully recover. As long as the disease was under control, it would be fine. The old man was getting on in years, and it was his only wish to live as long as he could. It's really effective. The doctor wiped the sweat on his forehead. I've never seen such a miraculous effect. Mr. Lai, forgive me for being blunt, but you should bring the old man to that expert. I can't do anything about it. The doctor had received a lot of red packets from the Lai brothers, so he told the truth and pointed out the right path for Fatty Lai. Sigh. Fatty Lai's face turned sour at the doctor's words. Would the expert even care about me? The doctor shook his head, thinking that it was true. If the expert really was the expert, he wouldn't care about a crybaby like Fatty Lai, crying all the time. He was an adult, shouldn't he be ashamed? Then let him rest in the hospital for now. I'll try my best. The doctor said. Oh right, you have to keep this a secret. Don't tell anyone. Fatty Lai suddenly thought of something and reminded her. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. The doctor nodded. Am I an idiot? Not only will I offend you, but it won't do me any good either. If I keep quiet, the outside world will think that I cured old Lai, and my reputation will increase. Lai Changtian's face was very ugly as he rushed to the hospital. His father was really awake, and he seemed to be in good spirit. He didn't think that his brother would be able to wake the old man up by a fluke, but this meant that the agreement Lai Chang'e had written was no longer effect. The old man was still alive, and Lai Chang'e had no right to decide the ownership of the electronics park. Changtian could only give his best wishes and congratulations to the old man, but in his heart, he was thinking of ways to trick the old man into making the agreement he signed with Lai Chang'e a reality. Donghai, House Kang's villa. Dr. Kang looked at the analysis report in his hands with a strange expression on his face. If it weren't for the fact that this report was personally verified by Kang Mingming himself, Dr. Kang would have thought that he was being played. Dog poop. The main ingredient of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing is dog poop? Are you sure you're not mistaken? Dr. Kang stared at the report, his face full of disbelief. No. Jiaolong shook his head. Grandpa, I've had people analyze it many times, and the conclusion is that it's most similar to dog poop. Dog poop. Could it be that dog poop has something to do with life extension and toxin cleansing? Dr. Kang couldn't understand how dog poop could have such an effect. But Grandpa, I really do feel great. After Kang Jiaoming got what he wanted, he didn't pretend to be sick anymore. The next day, he appeared in the living room of House Kang, full of energy and vigor. Grandpa, I feel much better. I won't lie to you guys, I used to have a weak kidney, but now, hehe. Kang Mingming didn't continue, but everyone understood what he meant. He was the most useless playboy in the family, always hanging around with women. No one doubted his words. Jiaoming, you really feel great? Dr. Kang found this very strange dog poop could be used to treat illnesses. Yeah, Grandpa, I really feel great right now. Kang Mingming nodded, as if he was showing off a treasure. Grandpa, actually, I think that the main ingredient of this medicine is dog poop. It's not that surprising. Oh, what do you mean? Dr. Kang's interest was piqued. If it were in the past, he wouldn't have paid any attention to this grandson. He was just a playboy, using his family's name to eat and wait for his death. But ever since Kang Mingming used his own body to test the medicine, Dr. Kang started to value Kang Ming more. He wanted to hear what he had to say now that he had something to say. Chapter 4:15. Kang Family Alliance by Marriage Slap. Miracle Dr. Kang slapped his thigh as he stood up excitedly. You've woken me up from my daydream. You've really woken me up. Zhaoming, you're right. If urine can cure diseases, why can't poop? Yeah, Grandpa, don't people say that dog poop stinks? That proves that dog poop stinks, and no one has ever eaten dog poop before because it stinks too much, Kang Ming said. But it's possible that someone accidentally discovered the secret of dog poop and created this pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. In fact, it's possible that this thing is made up of dog poop. Grandpa, Zhaoming's right. Zhaolong couldn't let Kang Ming steal all the limelight. He used to be the best of the younger generation in the house, so he quickly interjected. Grandpa, I think so too. Look at this so-called dog treasure, it's just a stone in a dog's stomach. If it were any other animal, the stone would be trash, but it's a treasure in a dog's body, so I don't think dog poop is a bad thing. It's probably the main ingredient of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Yeah, Zhaolong's right. Dr. Kang nodded. I didn't dote on you guys for nothing. With you two brothers in this generation, House Kang will be even more glorious. I'm glad. If this pill of life extension and toxin cleansing is made, you two will be the biggest contributors. You two will get the majority of the shares. Thank you, Grandpa. Zhaolong and Kang Ming were very happy they'd gotten the shares of the new medicine with just a few words. It was too easy. How about this, Zhaolong? Get someone to collect some dog poop and we'll do an experiment. Dr. Kang ordered. Make the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing as soon as possible. House Kang's status will rise even higher this way. The golden creation medicine from before will be a piece of cake. No problem, Grandpa. I'll get someone to do this right away and get it done as soon as possible. Zhaolong nodded. Yes, very good. Miracle Dr. Kang said. There's another important thing I need to talk about. It's about your marriage. Zhaolong. My marriage? What do you mean? Zhaolong blinked. I don't have a girlfriend yet. What marriage? Zhaolong was different from Zhaoming. Zhaoming was a playboy, changing girlfriends more than he ate. Zhaolong, on the other hand, was different. As the rising star of the third generation of House Kang, he had too much hope placed on him from a young age. Although he wanted to date and find a girlfriend, he was a man of great self-control and ambition. He gave up on love without hesitation, even if there was a girl he liked. He'd off. He Kanged on. He Li up. He of Ming Shan, he did in all. This was the main reason why Dr. Kang thought so highly of him. He didn't understand why Dr. Kang brought up his marriage. Haha, it doesn't matter if you have a girlfriend or not. I've arranged a marriage for you, and the girl is very pretty. It's a big family. What do you think, Zhaolong? Dr. Kang asked. Isn't this a little too fast? Grandpa, I haven't finished my doctorate yet. Zhaolong was startled. It was too sudden. It's not fast. You're already a doctorate. Many people bring their kids with them. I even had a second uncle when I was your age. Dr. Kang waved his hand. Zhaolong, you have to understand that this marriage is very important to our Kang's reputation in the upper class. Even though we've made a name for ourselves with golden creation, we're still a merchant family with a miracle formula. I may be called Dr. Kang, but that's just out of respect. I'm not a miracle doctor at all, so if House Kang wants to rise to the ranks of the big families, other than working hard ourselves, we have to connect with other families through marriage. Of course, those big families don't care about us. They don't want to connect with us through marriage, but some of the poor families are more than happy to do it. But no matter how poor they are, they were once big families. They have a certain level of status and prestige. As long as we're together, House Kang will rise. It's all up to you, Grandpa. Zhaolong nodded after some hesitation. If that was the case, then his marriage with the other side would be the key to House Kang's success. He'd become a hero, and his position in House Kang would rise as well. This was a good thing for him. Zhaolong only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. Grandpa, which family? Yanjing's Xiao family, Dr. Kang said. The Xiao family's elder Xiao was a little muddle-headed in his later years. He signed a couple of fraudulent contracts, pretty much giving away most of the Xiao family's assets. The Xiao family's brothers were in a mess, and in order to protect the Xiao family's position, the only option was to connect through marriage. There was one more thing Dr. Kang didn't say. It was that House Kang wanted to rise to the ranks of the big families, and the two families would be a perfect match. All right, I have no objections. Zhaolong nodded. All right, since you've agreed, I've brought the picture of the girl. Have a look. If it's okay, I'll send the betrothal gif. Dr. Kang said. We'll find a date to hold the engagement ceremony and confirm it. Our family's reputation will rise as well. Even though the Xiao family doesn't have much money now, they still have their connections in the business world. House Kang's medical group can use their connections to expand on a large scale. All right, Grandpa, I'll arrange it. Zhaolong nodded. It didn't matter if the girl was pretty or not. The important thing was that Zhaolong's position in House Kang would be confirmed through this marriage. If she wasn't pretty, then he'd accept it. If she was pretty, then he'd just take it. This is the girl's picture. If you like it, you can go talk to her yourself. You young people should be able to get along well, Dr. Kang said as he passed a picture to Zhaolong. Even though she's not from the same family, the girl's father isn't someone to be underestimated. He runs a medical chain company in Songshan, and he'll be our helper. Zhaolong was overjoyed. He didn't think that the girl's family would be so good. His position in House Kang would be even greater. Zhaolong took the picture and glanced at it casually, but his eyes couldn't move away. Chapter 416. About Lin Yi bro, I'll give you some advice. Kang Ming went over curiously, wanting to see what his future sister-in-law looked like. One look and he realized that his bro had really hit the jackpot. Why wasn't he the one getting married? How unlucky. Bro, you've hit the jackpot. I've seen countless girls in my life, and this is one of the best. Out of all the girls I know, only that bitch Tang Yun can compare to her. The worst part is that Kang Xiaobo got her before I even got her. Everyone in the family knew what kind of person Kang Ming was, so they just laughed it off. Zhaolong, on the other hand, was really happy. Even his playboy brother said it was good, it had to be a goddess. Don't worry, we'll find you a good one in the future, Zhaolong said to Kang Ming. But you're better than me. I'll only have one in my life, how many do you have already? Haha, of course. Kang Ming didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead, he felt proud. But Kang Ming's actions were nothing compared to his contributions to the family. Dr. Kang and the others didn't think that Kang Ming was sick in the head. It'd be a waste if one wasn't a playboy. Zhaolong was a good student, and Kang Ming was a playboy. They weren't lonely in the family. Xiao rushed into a clothing store with her hair dripping wet under everyone's weird gazes. She bought a new set from the inside out before driving to the nearest hotel, taking a hot shower and changing into a new set of clothes before heading back to school angrily. She didn't want to let Lin Yi go, but she didn't know Lin Yi's trump card. Lin Yi looked like he was a good fighter, and his reflexes were super fast, too. She'd been discovered the moment she snuck into the washroom. No wonder Pinliang and Zhu Ruoming weren't his match. This was evident from the fact that he was Mang Yao's bodyguard. Peng Zhan wouldn't have hired him if he wasn't strong enough. It seemed that he had to thoroughly understand Lin Yi before he made his next move. Otherwise, it was very likely that he would suffer a great loss again. With that thought, Xiao decided to ask Pinliang and Zhu Ruoming about Lin Yi. When Xiao got back to school, Pinliang and Xiaofu had just finished changing as well. They'd been kneeling in the toilet for a long time, and their pants were quite dirty. Lil sis Xiao. Pinliang didn't want to, but he couldn't pretend that he didn't see her at the school gates. Otherwise, things would get worse. You two, get over here. Xiao pointed at Pinliang and said coldly. Pinliang and Xiaofu's hearts skipped a beat. Could it be that Lin Yi didn't keep his promise and told Xiao about what happened? The two were scared out of their wits. They carefully walked up to Xiao and smiled. Lil sis Xiao, what's wrong? It's not our fault, we didn't know that Lin Yi would turn around all of a sudden. That's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Xiao frowned, a little unhappy. She didn't even mention it, why did you bring it up? What was the meaning of this? Were you trying to humiliate her? Then Lil Sis Xiao Xiao is looking for us. Pin Liang let out a breath of relief after hearing Xiao Xiao's words, but he was also a little fearful. It seemed like he'd been an idiot. How could he just bring up something as embarrassing as Xiao Xiao's? Of course she wouldn't be happy about it. Get Zhu Ruoming here, too. I have something to talk to you guys about, Xiao Xiao ordered. Okay, I'll go get him now. Xiaofu volunteered. He was Pin Liang's henchman. How could he let Pin Liang run errands for him? Zhu Ruoming was actually quite easy to find. He played basketball almost every day, and Xiaofu could spot him easily. Ming bro, over here. Xiaofu called out to Zhu Ruoming. What's up? Zhu Ruoming was about to go in for a layup when Xiaofu called out to him. He jumped up in fright and let go of the basketball, displeased. Can't you wait until I'm done? Lil Sis Xiao Xiao's looking for you, Xiaofu said. Fuck, why didn't you say so earlier? Zhu Ruoming jogged over, a shocked expression on his face. You two idiots. You pissed off Lil Sis Xiao Xiao this morning, and now you're dragging me down with you. You're so mean. Zhu Ruoming knew a thing or two about what happened to Xiao Xiao this morning. Pin Liang didn't go into detail, but it was obvious that Xiao Xiao was taken advantage of, and so Zhu Ruoming was quite afraid to go see her. It's fine, Lil Sis Xiao Xiao didn't mention that, so don't bring it up. I think she's just asking us about Lin Yi. You'll know when you get here, Xiaofu said. Let's go, don't let Lil Sis Xiao Xiao wait too long. Alright, I'll go now. Zhu Ruoming nodded and left the school gates with Xiaofu. Xiao Xiao brought them to a coffee shop beside the school and got straight to the point. Why don't you guys tell me about Lin Yi? I'm sure you guys know about how I got taken advantage of by Lin Yi today. This Lin Yi guy doesn't look like a normal person. Zhu Ruoming looked at Pin Liang and Xiaofu. Logically speaking, what happened to Lin Yi was a nightmare and a humiliation to them. Everyone had been dealt with by Lin Yi in different ways, and it was a little embarrassing to talk about it now. What, you don't want to talk about it? Xiao Xiao frowned. No. Pin Liang and Xiao Xiao were in the same class, and they'd seen each other all the time. He didn't want to piss her off. I'll talk first. When Lin Yi first transferred here, he kicked me in the face. I wasn't happy, so I wanted to get back at him. And so, Pin Liang started talking about his grudge with Lin Yi, all the way until Heibao Bro came to school and got his face stepped on by Lin Yi. So you're saying that even gangsters aren't his match? Xiao Xiao was a little surprised. She'd already guessed that Lin Yi wasn't weak, from how he pushed the cart with one arm, but she didn't expect Lin Yi to be this strong. Even the gangsters with guns were beaten to the point of looking for their teeth on the ground. Of course, Pin Liang didn't tell her about Heibao Bro breaking through to Golden Class. She'd be even more shocked if Heibao Bro still wasn't a match for Lin Yi. Chapter 417. Chapter 417, Car Accident. Xiao Xiao was speechless. She'd wanted him to have some conflict with Lin Yi today, but now it seemed like he didn't dare do anything to Lin Yi at all. It's a little embarrassing, but it's the truth. In this school. No, even with the gangsters in society, I'm sure no one can do anything to that Lin Yi kid. He's not even scared of guns. Pin Liang tried to explain himself. Since you're not afraid of embarrassing yourself, then I'll tell you. Zhu Ruoming sighed as he started complaining. I got slapped by Lin Yi in front of so many students, and even the dean. What could I do? I couldn't beat him, he's so arrogant. Xiao Xiao was getting dizzy. It seemed like her investigation wasn't enough. Lin Yi was so strong, and she still had to fight him head-on. That was impossible. It seemed that fighting head-on wasn't going to work. She was a pretty fierce girl, but Lin Yi was even fiercer. Xiao Xiao didn't have the confidence to do anything to Lin Yi after hearing what Pin Liang and Zhu Ruoming said. This Lin Yi doesn't have any weaknesses. Xiao Xiao frowned. Do you guys know if Lin Yi has a weakness? Weakness? Zhu Ruoming said, troubled. Probably Tang Yun. If you touch her. Heh, Lil Sis Xiao Xiao, why don't you do some research and get Tang Yun for me? I'll do it for you. Zhu Ruoming still didn't want to give up on Tang Yun. He didn't get to fulfill his wish last time, since Lin Yi ruined it, but he still hoped that he could have Tang Yun for himself. He didn't believe that Lin Yi would kill him. What was done, and Lin Yi wouldn't be able to do anything. Tang Yun would just follow him obediently. And Lin Yi probably wouldn't make things difficult for him for Tang Yun's sake. No. Xiao Xiao rejected him flatly. She wanted to cause trouble for Lin Yi, but she wanted Lin Yi to give in and teach her how to fight and drive. If she really did anything to Tang Yun, then Lin Yi wouldn't be able to teach her anything, and the two would become mortal enemies. Then I have no other choice. Zhu Ruoming shook his head. I don't have any good ideas myself. Pinliang didn't know what Lin Yi's weakness was. He would have done it himself if he knew. Xiao Xiao cursed the two of them inwardly. They were useless, a waste of time. On the way back to school with Tang Yun, they were on the fast lane on the left. He didn't expect to bump into someone who was going against the traffic when they got on the viaduct. Lin Yi frowned. There were cars on the left and right, and changing lanes was impossible. Even if he didn't think about himself, he had to think about Tang Yun. Lin Yi turned on the high beam, wanting the car to go back to the right lane, but what Lin Yi didn't expect was that the car didn't slow down and go back. Instead, it copied Lin Yi and flashed the high beam, and it was a modified hernia lamp. If it weren't for Lin Yi's good eyesight, he would have been blinded. Lin Yi had no other choice if this continued. The two cars would crash into each other. Tang Yun was already screaming in fear. Lin Yi suddenly turned the steering wheel to the right and pulled the handbrake. The van swerved in a beautiful arc, and the back of the van smashed into the front of the car. Although Lin Yi had carefully controlled the angle and force, there was still a loud sound. Tang Yun, on the other hand, was fine. Zhu Tiandi had just gotten a brand new BMW a few days ago, and his son had given him a custom license plate. It was a very cool license plate, SBSBSB. At first, Tiandi wanted a license plate that was all 8s. He thought that Zhu Ruoguang's license plate didn't have any 8s or 6s in it, and it was all in Western languages. But Zhu Ruoguang said that 888 and 00544 weren't popular anymore. Those were outdated. License plates nowadays were about individuality. Only with a personalized license plate would it be cool when you go out. The 888 and 666 on the street didn't have as many people turning their heads to look at them. The only ones that did were the SBSBSB. Tiandi didn't think much about it since his son said that the license plate was cool and unique, then he'd use it. What he didn't expect was that it really was cool. Almost 100% of the people on the street turned their heads to look at him, and some even took out their phones to take pictures of him enviously. This satisfied Tiandi's vanity. There were even 2 drivers on the street who got too excited when they saw his license plate and crashed into each other. This gave Tiandi an indescribable sense of honor. Even when he was driving on the wrong side of the road, many cars would make way for him. No one dared to fight him head-on. But today, some idiot had crashed his brand new car. Tiandi panicked, jumping out of the car to pull on Lin Yi's door. Get the fuck out of the car. Are you blind or what? Do you even know how to drive? I have such a cool license plate, how dare you crash it? Lin Yi paused. He didn't expect someone to be this cocky even when driving on the wrong side of the road. He couldn't help but look at the license plate and almost burst out laughing when he saw it. What a unique license plate. What are you laughing at? There's no use laughing, you little bastard. You ruined my new car. Pay me 100,000 kwai or you're not leaving. Tiandi was having a great time, planning on taking his car out for a walk whenever he had nothing better to do, but Lin Yi crashed his car into it. How many days would it be before he could show off his cool license plate? You crashed my car on the wrong side of the road. And you're asking me for money? Lin Yi was speechless as he looked at the familiar-looking man in front of him. Where had he seen him before? Lin Yi's memory wasn't bad, but it wasn't worth remembering small fries and small fries. He couldn't remember who this small fry was. How much is a bun like you worth? Don't think I don't know that you crashed my car on purpose, trying to drift with me. I'm telling you, it's no use. If you don't pay me today, don't even think about leaving. Tiandi didn't lack money, but he was pissed off today. He wanted to make things difficult for Lin Yi. Who told him to crash his cool car? All right, stop wasting time. You crashed my car, and I'm not asking you for money anymore. Let's go our separate ways. I'm in a hurry. Lin Yi got out of the car and looked at his van. There was only a dent in the back, so he smashed it a few times and straightened the metal. Chapter 4:18. He really didn't dare ha. Lin Yi shrugged. I just smoothed out the metal on my car. How am I trying to scare you? Just you wait. Don't leave if you dare. Tiandi hemped coldly before pulling out his phone. Ruoguang, where are you? I'm in the North District, on Southern Titanium Road. My car was hit by someone, and this guy doesn't want to pay up, even using his fist to scare me. Fine, I'll wait for you, hurry up. Lin Yi frowned. Since the guy didn't want to let this go, then he'd deal with it. Lin Yi pulled out his phone as well and called Lingshan. Lingshan was quite surprised to see Lin Yi's call. She thought that Lin Yi had thought of a solution this quickly. She picked up, surprised. Lin Yi, you got a solution? No, someone ran into me on the wrong side of the road. Come take a look. Lin Yi said faintly. Ran into you? Are you all right? Lingshan paused. She needed Lin Yi's help right now, and if something were to happen to Lin Yi, then the rescue mission would be over. I'm fine. They're trying to scam me, and they're trying to scare me. Lin Yi said. You're coming to me for something like this? Can't you solve it yourself? Lingshan found Lin Yi's words funny and annoying at the same time. You're coming to me for something like this? Aren't you supposed to be capable? Alright, I'll smash his car and beat him up. Lin Yi said. Ah. Lingshan smiled bitterly. Alright, wait for me, I'll go over now. If Lin Yi were to smash someone's car, he'd probably end up in the police station. She'd be the one in trouble then, so Lingshan had no choice but to agree. Southern Titanium Road. Lin Yi smiled. If they get here before you come, I'll have to do it. Alright, I got it. Lingshan hemphed, afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble for her. Don't be rash, Miss Braindead is coming. Lingshan added helplessly. Heh, alright. Only now did Lin Yi realize that Lingshan had a cute side to her. This violent, brain-dead girl wasn't completely useless. It doesn't matter who you go to. I'm telling you, you're dead meat today. Don't even think about leaving if you don't get 100,000. Tiandi threatened, pointing at Lin Yi. This was his newly bought BMW. It had been driven for less than half a month, but it was hit by Lin Yi. The headlights were broken, which made him very distressed. Therefore, he had to make Lin Yi pay the price. The roar of an engine was heard, accompanied by the earth-shattering subwoofer DJ music. A motorcycle quickly drove over and stopped between the BMW and the van. Tiandi was overjoyed. His son was here, and the person who hit his car was dead meat. Dad, what's going on? Who hit you? Zhu Ruoguang jumped off the motorcycle and took charge. He crashed my car and didn't pay up. I'll kill him. That's the little bastard. Beat him up first, then smash his car and make him pay 100,000. Tiandi smiled coldly as he pointed at Lin Yi and gave the order. Tiandi was going crazy with anger. His brand new BMW, with a cool license plate, was destroyed by this kid with a van. He wouldn't be able to calm down if he didn't teach him a lesson. Besides, Tiandi hadn't been in a good mood for the past 2 days. He had his eyes on a girl in the company, and was about to get her when her boyfriend came out and ruined his plans. Who? Just you. Hey! Zhu Ruoguang was about to teach the kid with the van a lesson when he turned around and saw Lin Yi. Zhu Ruoguang had better eyesight than his old man Tiandi. Tiandi didn't recognize Lin Yi, but Zhu Ruoguang recognized Lin Yi right away. How? How come it's you? Before Lin Yi could reply, Zhu Ruoguang grabbed his father's arm and pulled him to the side. He whispered, Dad, why did you piss him off again? I can't wait to avoid him, and now you're pissing him off. Aren't you just looking for trouble? Who? You know this kid. Tiandi paused. Even the men who came with Zhu Ruoguang were taken aback. They didn't know why Zhu Ruoguang would say something like that. Isn't he the one who threw you out of the hospital room? Zhu Ruoguang smiled bitterly. Dad, just apologize to him. Don't cause trouble. This kid isn't easy to deal with. Apologize? How can you do that? I don't believe he can fight 4 hands with 2 fists. You have so many people with you, what's there to be afraid of? Tiandi frowned. He was a celebrity, after all, And now he had to apologize to a little brat after getting hit by a car on the street. What face would he have left if word got out? How could he take that? Then find someone else. Dad, I don't want to die yet. Zhu Ruoguang shook his head. Lin Yi had already traumatized him last time, and he couldn't bring himself to go against Lin Yi at all. You're just a piece of trash that can't be helped. Tiandi hemped coldly. Even your brother has more balls than you. I'll ask your brother to take care of this kid next time. Zhu Ruoguang kept his head down and didn't say anything. He really didn't dare do anything to Lin Yi. It wasn't an act, and so he pretended not to hear anything Tiandi said. Trash. Tiandi was infuriated. He was about to say something else when a police siren sounded not far away. A police car sped over and stopped beside Tiandi's BMW, its lights flashing. Ling Shan let out a sigh of relief when she saw that everyone was alive and well. She'd rushed through the red lights all the way here because she was afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble for her. Luckily, Lin Yi didn't hit anyone. All of you, follow me back to the police station. Ling Shan's heart was in her throat the whole time, and she was naturally furious. She pointed at Tiandi and Lin Yi. Tiandi wasn't expecting a police officer to show up all of a sudden. He frowned. Why was there a police officer here when he didn't even call the police? Were they just passing by? What a busybody. I say, comrade, I have friends in the traffic police. You don't have to worry about this anymore, we can handle this ourselves. Tiandi waved his hand at Ling Shan. As far as he was concerned, Ling Shan was young, and a policewoman. She was just an intern who'd just graduated, so he didn't really care about her. She was quite pretty, and her body was hot as well. But Tiandi wasn't stupid enough to flirt with a policewoman. He didn't want to go to jail yet. Chapter 419. I'll give you a mission, all right. Give me a minute, I'll make a call. Tiandi pulled out his phone and dialed a number. Hello. Wang bro. I'm Zhu Tiandi. I got into a car accident on Jinnan Road and was about to settle it privately when a police officer came over. Right, can you talk to her? All right, I'll give her the phone. With that, Tiandi handed the phone to Ling Shan. Answer the phone? Ling Shan looked at Tiandi with a half-smile as she took the phone. Hello, I'm Ling Shan. Who's this? Song. Captain Song. The guy was just about to say something when he heard Ling Shan's name. Everyone in Song's Han knew about Ling Shan from the criminal police team, after all. Who would dare go against her? He couldn't possibly order a criminal police captain around, could he? Plus, since Ling Shan was keeping an eye on Tiandi, it might be some big case. Maybe he was doing some illegal business. He had to draw a line between him and Ling Shan as soon as possible. With that in mind, Wang Bro said, It's fine, Captain Song, I won't disturb you anymore. Ling Shan handed the phone back to Tiandi, who didn't hear what Wang Bro was saying. I'm Ling Shan. He thought that everything was settled, and was about to thank Wang Bro when he realized that the call had been hung up. Tiandi didn't think much of it, thinking that Wang Bro was busy. Wang Bro told you, right? You can leave now, little comrade. Don't stick your nose in other people's business. Dad. Zhu Ruoguang quickly pulled Tiandi back. Tiandi didn't know Ling Shan, but how could Zhu Ruoguang not know her? As the head of the North District's gangsters, it'd be a waste if he didn't know the criminal police captain. His face paled as he watched his father lecture him. What are you doing? Tiandi glared at his son. What do you want? Dad, she's Captain Song from the crime squad. Zhu Ruoguang said carefully. What? Tiandi froze like an idiot. She's the captain of the criminal police force? Are you leaving or not? I don't need to do anything, do I? Ling Shan said as she pulled out the handcuffs. Let's go. Let's go then. Tiandi's face was grim. He didn't think that he'd pissed off the captain of the criminal police. If he didn't leave now, the captain would probably pull out a gun. It's none of my business. I'm just passing by. Zhu Ruoguang didn't want to go to the police station. You're going too. You are illegally driving an unlicensed modified motorcycle, and I suspect that you are trying to gather a crowd to cause trouble. Ling Shan didn't give Zhu Ruoguang the chance to explain. I know you can run, but you can't run. You can choose to run, I won't run. I'll cooperate with the investigation. Zhu Ruoguang smiled miserably with a bitter face. Thank you, Miss Braindead. Lin Yi was quite grateful for Lingshan's help, although Ruoguang's presence reminded him of who Tiandi was. Getting rid of them would be a piece of cake, but Ruoguang's presence reminded him of who Tiandi was. Lingshan's speed, however, made Lin Yi think that she wasn't bad. No. You're coming with me. Lingshan was about to explode. You can call me Miss Braindead in private, can't you? Calling me that in front of so many people, how am I supposed to back down? She wasn't going to let Lin Yi get away with it. I want to go too. Lin Yi pointed at his nose, speechless. He was about to say something when Tang Yun spoke up first. Let's go, we have to cooperate with the investigation, it's our duty. Tang Yun was a good kid, naturally, she wouldn't reject going to the police station. Besides, it's not our fault, it's their fault. We'll be able to explain ourselves in the police station, huh? All right. Lin Yi nodded, a bitter smile on his face. Tang Yun was a good kid, after all. Lin Yi didn't care what Lingshan said, and he'd just leave. He didn't believe that Lingshan would come after him. Phew. Lingshan breathed out in relief, too. She'd blurted out those words in a fit of anger, not thinking about the consequences at all. She regretted it immediately after, since when had Lin Yi ever given her any face? Wasn't she just asking to be humiliated if she ordered him around? If Lin Yi left, she'd be in an even worse position in front of Zhu Tiandi and his son. This was even more serious than the Miss Braindead from before. Now that Tang Yun said that she wanted to go to the police station, Lingshan breathed out in relief. At the same time, she felt grateful for Tang Yun, but at the same time, she was annoyed at Lin Yi for listening to Tang Yun and taking care of her. She wasn't any worse than Tang Yun, was she? She wasn't any weaker than Tang Yun in terms of looks and height, and her body was several times hotter than Tang Yun's as well. Lin Yi was a blind man, how could he be so rude to her? Lingshan got angrier the more she thought about it. Why was Lin Yi so gentle to Tang Yun and treating her like this? Did he hate her that much? She had to be Miss Braindead to ask for his help. You guys follow me in the car. Lingshan got into the police car, and Lin Yi, Tiandi, and the others followed behind as they made their way to the police station. Zhu Tiandi didn't know about the relationship between Lin Yi and Lingshan, but he was overjoyed to hear Lin Yi call Lingshan Miss Braindead. This was going to be fun. This Lin Yi was probably going to get beaten up, wasn't he? But Tiandi didn't plan on letting Lin Yi go so easily. On the way to the police station, he called his youngest son, Zhu Ruoming. Hey, Ruoming, are you at school? Tiandi had always told Zhu Ruoming to study hard in school, not letting him get involved in fights. But this time, he was really pissed off. His eldest son, Zhu Ruoguang, was too much of a coward, he couldn't even teach someone a lesson. But his youngest son was a bold and ruthless character. He had always told him to study hard, but Tiandi knew what kind of person he was. Dad, I'm at school, studying. Ruoming had just finished his meeting with Xiao Xiao, and his father's phone call made him jump. It wasn't checking on him, was it? He quickly explained himself. All right, stop bullshitting. Tiandi scolded. Do you think I don't know what kind of person you are? I'll give you a mission. Go to your Uncle Yang's villa in the northern suburbs and ask him to stop someone in front of the police station. I'll send you that person's information later. Ah, me. Zhu Ruoming paused. He didn't think that his father would ask him to do something like this. Didn't he always ask his big brother to do it? Plus, it was his first time asking him to take Uncle Yang on a mission. That was too awesome. Chapter 420. Ambush and interception. Yes, you're the one. Tiandi was about to explode from anger. He wouldn't have asked Zhu Ruoming to do this otherwise. He couldn't take it anymore, especially after learning that Lin Yi was the one who'd thrown him out of the hospital room the other day. He had to teach Lin Yi a lesson. All right, I'll be right there. Zhu Ruoming nodded quickly, thinking that it'd be great if he could bring Uncle Yang to teach Lin Yi a lesson. With Uncle Yang there, beating up Lin Yi would be child's play. Of course, Zhu Ruoming didn't know that the crippled Heibao bro was a golden class master as well. He wouldn't have thought so otherwise. Tiandi sighed softly as he listened to Ruoming's excited tone. His youngest son was quite the ruthless one. Did he make the wrong decision back then? If he'd let his older son study hard and let his younger son mingle in society, that would have been a good choice, but he'd already made the wrong choice. He'd have to make the best of it. Uncle Yang didn't usually use his phone, nor did he use the phone in his room. He was a master of the world, and Zhu Ruoming wouldn't have had to go invite him personally otherwise. But Tiandi didn't mind. He was a master, after all, and it was normal for a golden class master like Uncle Yang to be different. Moreover, Uncle Yang was right, he was a fugitive, and living in seclusion was the right thing to do, in case someone discovered him. Zhu Ruoming quickly ran out of the school, hailed a taxi, and rushed to the villa in the northern suburbs. Uncle Yang knew Zhu Ruoming, and didn't ask much after hearing that it was an order from Zhu Ruoming. He put on a low-brimmed hat and hurried out the door with Zhu Ruoming. Uncle Yang was a golden class master who wandered between his sect and the underworld. He'd been doing robberies for his sect's funds, but he'd been wanted by the police once. Luckily, Tiandi had saved him, and so he stayed in Songshan, promising to do 3 things for Tiandi before leaving. He had done 2 before, and this was the last one. Once he was done, he could leave and continue his robbery. Beep beep. Zhu Ruoming received a message from Tiandi, the license plate number and model of the van written on it. After Zhu Ruoming told Uncle Yang about it, the 2 of them stood guard on the road in front of the police station. Ling Shan didn't make things difficult for Lin Yi when they arrived at the police station. She knew that Lin Yi didn't care about her at all, and that he was only here because of Tang Yun. Therefore, they only gave Lin Yi a statement and let Lin Yi and Tang Yun leave. Ling Shan sis is a nice person, why do you always call her that? Tang Yun didn't understand why Lin Yi would call Ling Shan a brain-dead girl. Wasn't Lin Yi a little too bold? He dared to call Ling Shan a brain-dead girl, and the weirdest thing was that Ling Shan didn't refute it even though she was angry. She's too troublesome, asking me for help all the time. Lin Yi shrugged and didn't say anything else on the topic. Suddenly, the jade on his chest jumped twice, and Lin Yi's face changed. He slowed down the car. Danger! Danger! Tang Yun paused, but before she could ask anything, a shadow floated over and stood not far from Lin Yi's car. Early phase golden class? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. He knew the opponent's strength level, but he didn't know why this early phase golden class master would appear here. From the looks of it, he was here for him, but who sent him? Zihua? Obviously not. He'd already killed his late phase golden class master. Sending another early phase golden class was the same as sending himself to death. He believed that Zihua wasn't that stupid. Zhong Fabai? Probably not. He'd even sent Heibao Bro to prison. Jin Gubang? The only possibility that Lin Yi could think of was him. But in the next moment, Lin Yi realized that he was wrong. The person who jumped out after this early phase golden class master wasn't Jin Gubang, but Zhu Ruoming. Zhu Ruoming, on the other hand, was stunned when he saw Lin Yi and Tang Yun in the car. He almost burst out laughing. He recognized Lin Yi's van, but he couldn't remember Lin Yi's car plate number. Uncle Yang's eyes were sharp, and he saw Lin Yi's car coming over first, so he jumped out. It was only now that Zhu Ruoming realized that the person his father wanted him to stop was Lin Yi. In an instant, Zhu Ruoming's entire body was filled with excitement and excitement. He'd been worrying about how to deal with Lin Yi and imagined that Uncle Yang would help him, but Zhu Ruoming knew that it was impossible. He didn't expect it to become reality. Haha, Lin Yi? It's you. Zhu Ruoming laughed loudly. You didn't expect this, did you? You didn't expect this day to come, did you? Lin Yi classmate. Who asked you to pretend? This time, I'll let you die. Who do you think you are, trying to steal Tang Yun from me? Leave Tang Yun here today, and I'll spare your life. Lin Yi looked at Zhu Ruoming, stunned. Wasn't this guy too naive? Did he think he was invincible just because he got a golden class master? Not to mention the early phase of the golden class, even if it was the late phase of the golden class, he still had the strength to fight. Ever since he completed the first stage of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi's strength was comparable to the late phase of the golden class, and he could even fight a mystic class master in the early phase. Did you eat too many retarded pills? Lin Yi looked at Zhu Ruoming as if he was looking at an idiot. Even a retarded person wouldn't be like you, right? You're not just a normal retarded person, you're too retarded. Miss Retarded is 10,000 times smarter than you. Ha! Tang Yun, of course, knew who Lin Yi was talking about. She couldn't help but laugh when she heard Lin Yi's words. Zhu Ruoming couldn't help but stare blankly. His desire to take Tang Yun for himself grew stronger. It would be a waste to give such a good girl to Lin Yi. Miss Retarded? Zhu Ruoming didn't know who Miss Retarded was, but he knew that Lin Yi's words weren't good. He gritted his teeth. Lin Yi, it's useless for you to say anything now. Since you don't know what's good for you, then I won't be polite anymore. Uncle Yang, kill him. Leave that girl here. Zhu Ruoming was suspected of falsifying the imperial edict. Zhu Tiandi only asked him to teach Lin Yi a lesson, but Zhu Ruoming changed it to kill Lin Yi. Slap. Lin Yi slapped Zhu Ruoming's face again. I told you to stop thinking about Tang Yun. Do you have a bad memory or are you deaf? Chapter 421. Effortless Uncle Yang nodded slightly and threw a punch at Lin Yi. In his eyes, Lin Yi was fast, but he was still a normal person. One punch from him would be enough to finish him off. Slap. Zhu Ruoming was shocked, and so was Uncle Yang. Lin Yi's slap landed on Zhu Ruoming's face again, completely ignoring Uncle Yang's punch. He didn't even try to dodge. Are you retarded? You found a sickly old man to deal with me? Retarded pills are delicious, but you can't eat too much of it. I've never seen someone as retarded as you. Lin Yi shook his head. Uncle Yang almost laughed out loud after the shock. Ignorance was bliss. He was an early phase golden class master, and he was just a sickly old man in Lin Yi's eyes. It was a fact that he was sickly. His body hadn't been healthy since he was young, and he'd only been able to reach the early phase of golden class at most. There wasn't much progress, and that was why he'd volunteered to be the vanguard of his family's sect, coming to the mortal world to steal money to support his family's expenses. But that was only when compared to the other people in his family. This kid in front of him dared to call himself an old man? Uncle Yang's blood rushed to his head as he increased the strength of his fist, preparing to kill Lin Yi with one punch. But before his fist could reach Lin Yi, a crisp slap sounded. Uncle Yang stumbled and fell to the ground, 5 red marks on his face. You think you're something, don't you? You're an early phase golden class master, so what? Don't you think it's embarrassing for an old man like you to bully 2 young people like us? With that, Lin Yi stomped on Uncle Yang's head, deforming the left side of the man's cheek. Even his teeth fell out. Lin Yi's words made Zhu Ruoming and Tang Yun sweat. They've heard of young people bullying old people, but they've never heard of old people bullying young people. However, Uncle Yang didn't think that there was anything wrong with Lin Yi's words. According to Tang Yun and Zhu Ruoming's understanding, it was only applicable in the common world, not in the Wulin world. In the martial arts world, the older one was, the more profound their skills were. If an old man bullied a young man, it would be criticized by others as bullying the young. However, was he bullying the weak? Uncle Yang was on the verge of tears. He had really misjudged him. Not only had this young man seen through his strength at a glance, but he had also beaten him up so effortlessly. He was an early phase golden class master, but he was stepped on like a dead dog. He didn't even have a chance to fight back. According to this situation, the young man was at least a middle phase golden class master, or even a late phase golden class master. Uncle Yang, you. What are you doing? Don't worry, there's no one here, just kill him. Zhu Ruoming didn't understand the situation. He thought that Uncle Yang was pretending to be weak, pretending that he was bullied by Lin Yi, so that he could kill Lin Yi. Although that would achieve his goal, it didn't feel good no matter how he looked at it. It wasn't as satisfying as killing Lin Yi directly, so Zhu Ruoming reminded Uncle Yang anxiously. He couldn't be blamed for thinking that way. In his eyes and heart, early phase golden class masters were like gods, a symbol of invincibility. He once heard from his father, Zhu Tiandi, that it took several armed policemen to barely control Uncle Yang. What did that mean? If it was one-on-one, Uncle Yang was invincible. Although Zhu Ruoming didn't know what early phase golden class was like, he felt that it had to be stronger than Lin Yi. No matter how good Lin Yi was, he was just a normal person. How could he compare to a master of the martial arts world? Even if Lin Yi beat Heibao Bro to a pulp, Heibao Bro was just a gangster. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be stronger than a golden class master. That was why Zhu Ruoming could say something so stupid. Uncle Yang heard Zhu Ruoming's words and cried in his heart. Didn't you see the situation? Did you think I wanted to be stepped on? I had no choice but to be stepped on. The opponent's strength was obviously much higher than mine. I'm no match for him. Zhu Ruoming, how did you know I was here? Lin Yi didn't forget to ask Zhu Ruoming as he stepped on Uncle Yang. Lin Yi, don't be so arrogant. When Uncle Yang shows his power, you'll be dead. Zhu Ruoming, the idiot, still didn't see the situation clearly. He still thought that Uncle Yang could kill Lin Yi. You crashed my dad's car and broke my brother's arm. I brought Uncle Yang here to stop you. Oh, that idiot from before was your dad. Lin Yi realized. No wonder Zhu Ruoming knew where he was. So he was Zhu Tiandi's son, Zhu Ruoguang's brother. It was like the saying went, don't enter the same door if you're not a family. A family of idiots. Uncle Yang, what are you doing? Hurry up and kill this kid. Zhu Ruoming was confused when he saw that Uncle Yang hadn't exploded yet. Jiao Lao, there are too many people here. It's not easy to kill this old man. Is there a way to cripple him? Lin Yi asked Jiao Yazi in the Jade. Of course. Jiao Lao's voice sounded. People like him who reached golden class through immature training methods have all sorts of flaws. How can they compare to your art of dragon mastery? As long as they haven't reached the earth class, they will have a weak point. Once you break through their weak point, they'll basically be crippled unless they retrain their body and enter golden class through physical art. Then where's his weak point? Lin Yi was surprised and happy after hearing Jiao Lao's words. This. I don't know, Jiao Yazi said. Lin Yi almost fell down. Even Jiao Yazi didn't know. But generally, the weak point of golden class is near the dantian, unless it's a very special physical practitioner. Jiao Yazi's next words gave Lin Yi hope again. Bang! Lin Yi's foot landed on Uncle Yang's dantian, and Uncle Yang let out a blood-curdling scream before fainting. His whole body was like a deflated balloon, and he slumped to the ground. Lin Yi knew that he had broken Uncle Yang's weak point and directly crippled him. The moment he kicked, Lin Yi could feel the true energy in Uncle Yang's body quickly leaking out until it disappeared. Just like what Jiao Lao said, Lin Yi could no longer feel Uncle Yang's strength. In his eyes, Uncle Yang was no different from an ordinary old man. Chapter 422. His mute. A chill rose from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head. Zhu Ruoming looked at Lin Yi in horror. You! What are you doing? Don't come any closer. Pa! Another slap landed on Zhu Ruoming's face. This time, Lin Yi used more strength, and Zhu Ruoming's right tooth fell out, and the corner of his mouth cracked. You killed Uncle Yang? Zhu Ruoming found it unbelievable. An early phase golden class master was like a god. How could Lin Yi kill him with just a few kicks? How was this possible? No, I'm not like you, who dares to shout about killing me at the drop of a hat? I'm actually very timid. As Lin Yi spoke, he slapped Zhu Ruoming's face again. Zhu Ruoming's face was almost swollen like a pig's head. Misunderstanding. Boss Lin Yi, it was actually my dad who asked me to bring Uncle Yang to look for trouble with you. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a messenger. Please don't look for trouble with me. Zhu Ruoming knew that he couldn't outrun Lin Yi. Running was equivalent to seeking his own death. He had no choice but to kneel on the ground. Boss Lin Yi, it really has nothing to do with me. That's not what I'm talking about. Lin Yi shook his head. I'm talking about your intentions towards Tang Yun. Lin Yi stepped on Ruoming's face, and Ruoming let out a cry of pain. Ah, I've already said that Tang Yun is my woman. You're still thinking about her? Do you want to die? Lin Yi felt that if he didn't teach Zhu Ruoming a lesson, he wouldn't know that there was such a thing as death in this world. Ah! Ruoming screamed as he held his head. Boss Lin, I won't do it again. I've lost my mind. I won't do anything to Tang Yun anymore. Please let me go, Lin Yi. Stop kicking. What if someone dies? Tang Yun was shocked by Lin Yi's craziness, But Lin Yi was doing this for her. Tang Yun felt sweet inside. As long as she was with Lin Yi, he would protect her no matter what happened. However, although Tang Yun hated Zhu Ruoming, she couldn't beat him to death. She didn't want Lin Yi to go to jail because of this. She quickly stopped Lin Yi. He won't die. He's far from death. At most, he'll become an idiot. But it'll save him medicine. He won't have to spend money on stupid pills every day. He'll just become an idiot. Lin Yi smiled. No. I don't want to become an idiot. Lin Yi boss, let me go. Zhu Ruoming was about to cry. He'd rather die than become an idiot. Scram, Lin Yi said faintly. Yes. I'll scram now. Zhu Ruoming didn't dare to get up and run. Who knew if Lin Yi would use this as an excuse? In order to make sure that Lin Yi couldn't find anything wrong with him, Zhu Ruoming really started rolling on the ground. Tang Yun couldn't help but laugh at Zhu Ruoming's behavior. She didn't approve of Lin Yi using violence, but she had to admit that today was very satisfying. She got her revenge. If it weren't for Lin Yi, she'd still have to endure Zhu Ruoming's teasing every day. Who knew if she'd fall into his trap one day? Lin Yi looked at Uncle Yang on the ground and took out his phone to call Lingshan. Lingshan had just sent Zhu Tiandi and Zhu Ruoguang to the traffic police station. They didn't seem to have committed any crimes, but it was just a traffic violation. Lingshan didn't have the authority to do anything about it, so she handed them over. Her phone rang as soon as she got back to her office. She frowned when she saw the name Lin Yi. Did Lin Yi cause trouble again? Lingshan didn't believe that Lin Yi could find a way to cure Bojia so quickly. The only possibility was that he was looking for her. She rubbed her throbbing temples and picked up the phone helplessly. Lin Yi, what's up? I got ambushed when I came out of the police station. I've subdued him already. Come and take him away, Lin Yi said. What? You got ambushed? Who? Lingshan paused. Zhu Tiandi sent me, I think. Lin Yi said faintly, hurry up. Follow the road in front of the police station and you'll see me. With that, Lin Yi hung up, pissing Lingshan off. Was he ordering her around? How dare you order me? Lingshan was pissed, but she couldn't refuse. She got up and went downstairs, driving to find Lin Yi. Isn't that an old man? Did Zhu Tiandi send him? You didn't hit him with your car, did you? Lingshan was very suspicious that Lin Yi had accidentally hit someone and blamed it on Tiandi, saying that the old man was one of Tiandi's men. He can stop you. Golden class early phase. Lin Yi shrugged. Can you be any more retarded? Golden class early phase? Lingshan's mouth was wide open. She looked at the old man's face, and her face changed. A wanted criminal. The man in front of her was a wanted criminal. As the captain of the criminal police, Lingshan would often look at pictures of wanted criminals. It didn't take long for her to recognize this old man in front of her. Yang Qiyuan, wanted for murder and robbery. He'd been wanted for more than 2 years, and now he was here. He's a wanted criminal, right? Lin Yi guessed from Lingshan's expression. That's right. Lingshan nodded, a flash of joy in her eyes. This Lin Yi was lucky enough to catch a wanted criminal. This Yang Qiyuan was indeed a golden class early phase, but from the looks of it, he'd been crippled by Lin Yi. He was about the same as Heibao. Lin Yi patted Qiyuan's body, waking him up. Qiyuan's face was still filled with pain and sorrow. He was a golden class early phase, and he'd been crippled just like that. How could there be such a powerful figure in the secular world now? Looking at Lin Yi's age, he was only 20, right? Crack. Lingshan took out her handcuffs and cuffed Qiyuan. She didn't feel any danger, but Qiyuan was still a golden class early phase. Lingshan didn't dare treat him lightly. All right, I'm leaving. Lin Yi saw that he had nothing else to do and prepared to leave with Tang Yun. Wait, come back with me to make a statement. Lingshan called out to Lin Yi. Can't you just say you caught him yourself? It's not the first time something like this happened. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't want to go back with Lingshan. But the criminal's statement. Lingshan thought to herself. If she said she caught him, what if Qiyuan said something? Chapter 423. Chapter 423. What to do are. Ling Shan paused as she looked at Lin Yi, stunned. She was a golden class master herself, and had guessed that Lin Yi was a golden class master as well, but she'd never seen something like Lin Yi's miraculous skill before. 2 random pats and this guy turned into a mute. Uncle Yang didn't believe it as well. He'd never seen Lin Yi do something like this. Could it be acupuncture? That wasn't possible. He was a Wulin practitioner, and he'd never heard of anyone who knew how to use acupuncture. That was something that only existed in novels and dramas. It didn't exist in real life. He didn't believe Lin Yi's words, and was just about to say something to prove that he wasn't a mute when he realized that he couldn't speak. Ling Shan didn't know what to say as she looked at the Yi Yang Chiyuan. It seemed like Lin Yi had really turned this guy into a mute. It was too scary. A few random pats and he turned into a mute. Oh, right, he can still write. Maybe I should turn him into an idiot. Lin Yi suddenly thought of that. Ua! Ua! Yang Chiyuan shook his head furiously after hearing Lin Yi's words. Was this a joke? Turn himself into an idiot? What was the point of living then? He still had to pass the news to his family, and as for who'd caught him, he didn't have the heart to tell the police he was going to die anyway, and talking about it was just a waste of breath. See, he said he wouldn't talk. All right, that's all. I'm leaving. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't want to turn Yang Chiyuan into an idiot in front of Ling Shan. He shrugged and pulled Tang Yun into the car. Ling Shan looked at Lin Yi with a complicated gaze before getting into the police car with Chiyuan, heading back to the police station. Ling Shan brought Yang Chiyuan into the police station just in time to see Zhu Tiandi and his son walking out of the station after receiving their punishment. Tiandi looked at Yang Chiyuan, who Ling Shan was holding, and jumped in fright. A flash of shock and fear appeared in his eyes. How did Uncle Yang get captured by Ling Shan? Didn't he ask Zhu Ruoming to lead him to intercept Lin Yi? Why, Mr. Zhu, do you know this murderer and robber? Ling Shan looked at the shocked Tiandi. Naturally, she knew that Yang Chiyuan was Tiandi's doing, but Tiandi wouldn't admit to something like this without evidence. No, I don't know him. Tiandi shook his head and dragged Zhu Ruoguang away. He didn't dare to have anything to do with a murderer, even though they were clearly related. Ling Shan smiled coldly as she watched Tiandi and Zhu Ruoguang leave. She turned around and bumped into Liu Wangli. Captain Song, you arrested someone? He's so old, what did he do? Wangli asked as he looked at the criminal in Ling Shan's hands. Yang Chiyuan, he's a fugitive for robbery and murder. Ling Shan said faintly to Liu Wangli. I'll leave him to you. Captain Song, you brought Yang Chiyuan back. Wang Li's eyes were wide as he looked at Ling Shan in awe. Ling Shan had been solving many big cases recently, and her position in the police and criminal police had skyrocketed. She was now a qualified successor to Huaijuan. The voices that said that Ling Shan only knew how to charge and not solve cases were all gone now. It seemed that everyone approved of Ling Shan. Liu Wangli didn't like it when his superior was being talked about, and now they were all praising him. Liu Wangli was amazing, and now that Ling Shan had brought back a fugitive, Liu Wangli felt even more proud. Ling Shan, on the other hand, felt conflicted. Just what was her relationship with Lin Yi? Was it a partnership or an enemy? She really couldn't tell. Tiandi and Zhu Ruoguang went back to the car, and Tiandi clutched his chest in shock. Ruoguang, am I seeing things? Isn't that Uncle Yang? It's Uncle Yang. Zhu Ruoguang nodded. How did Ling Shan get him? Isn't he an early phase golden class? I don't know, let's call Ruoming first. Tiandi was desperate to find out the truth. Hello, Ruoming. What happened to you? How did the police get Uncle Yang? Tiandi called Zhu Ruoming, firing off a barrage of questions before Zhu Ruoming could say anything. Dad, it's big. Zhu Ruoming was scared out of his wits as well, hiding at home. He didn't even dare go to school. That kid's called Lin Yi, he's from our school. He's a master. He knocked Uncle Yang out with one slap, and knocked him out with a few kicks. What? That guy's that strong. Tiandi was shocked when he heard Zhu Ruoming's words. What shocked him the most was that Zhu Ruoming knew Lin Yi. He's the tyrant of our school, no one dares mess with him now. Zhu Ruoming sounded like he was on the verge of tears. He didn't like me from the start, and I brought Uncle Yang to cause trouble for him today. You've really gotten me killed. Dad, I don't even dare go to school anymore. Tiendi's face paled instantly. He knew how strong Uncle Yang was, and how strong did someone have to be to take him down so easily? How did he end up messing with someone like that? Tiendi was scared just thinking about it. If Lin Yi really wanted to kill him, it'd be as easy as killing an ant. He'd even had to fight over a hospital room with him last time. He couldn't even imagine the consequences. Tiendi wasn't the one with the worst expression on his face, but Zhu Ruoguang. He'd heard what Tiendi said through the phone, and he was even more scared than Tiendi. Dad, I told you we couldn't mess with this guy, and you just had to do it. Now we're done for. He can kill us like a toy. What are we going to do in the future? You even told me to go teach him a lesson last time. It's a good thing I didn't go, or you'd be burning Joss paper for me right now. Alright, Ruoguang, don't be scared. Lin Yi is strong, but he didn't do anything to us, did he? He kept Uncle Yang and let Ruoming go, which means he doesn't want to bother with normal people like us. We just don't mess with him in the future, and find a way to give him a red envelope. We'll have a feast to apologize to him. I don't think he'll hold it against us, will he? Tiendi was a smart man, and he immediately analyzed the situation. I guess that's the only way. Zhu Ruoguang nodded. I was possessed last time, and I even wanted to flirt with the girl next to him. Man, I'm scared just thinking about it. Yeah, I remember what he looks like this time, and I even took a picture of it and saved it in my phone. We'll avoid him when we see him in the future, and if we can't avoid him, we'll be more respectful. They say you don't hit someone who's smiling at you, so we'll just suck up to him a little. He's a master, I don't think he'll hold it against us, right? Chapter 424. Xiao Xiao wants revenge. Xiao Xiao hadn't thought of a way to deal with Lin Yi yet, but she was a little embarrassed to face Lin Yi. She'd been drenched by him at noon, and Xiao Xiao was quite embarrassed. She'd never been in such an awkward situation in her life, and now she'd fallen into Lin Yi's hands. What surprised Xiao Xiao was that she didn't see Lin Yi when she returned to the classroom. She let out a breath of relief. Hey, pretty girl, you know my boss? Kang Xiaobo turned around, curious about Xiao Xiao's identity. It was obvious that she was here for Lin Yi, but he didn't want to ask Lin Yi. Now that Lin Yi wasn't in the classroom, he could ask Xiao Xiao. Lin Yi's your boss. Xiao Xiao wanted to find someone familiar with Lin Yi to get to know Lin Yi better. Yeah, I'm his follower, Kang Xiaobo said proudly, as if being Lin Yi's follower was something to be proud of. Oh. Xiao Xiao rolled her eyes and said to Kang Xiaobo, I'll tell you something in secret. Don't tell anyone, including your boss, Lin Yi. Xiaobo hesitated. He wanted to hear what Xiao Xiao was talking about, but he didn't want to hide it from Lin Yi. It wasn't a good idea. I won't tell you if you don't agree. Xiao Xiao saw Kang Xiaobo's hesitation and threw out a more important chip. It's about me coming to find your boss. As expected, Kang Xiaobo was interested, scratching his ears and cheeks as he hesitated. Then tell me. I won't tell my boss. Please don't tell me, or I'll be really embarrassed. Xiao Xiao looked at Kang Xiaobo, putting on a pitiful look. Don't worry, I'm a man of my word. I promise I won't tell the boss. Kang Xiaobo patted his chest and promised. But Kang Xiaobo wasn't an idiot. He promised not to tell Lin Yi, but he didn't promise not to tell Tang Yun. He'd just tell Tang Yun and Tang Yun would tell Lin Yi, and it wouldn't have anything to do with him. Actually, I like Lin Yi. I transferred here because of him. Xiao Xiao whispered to Kang Xiaobo, blushing. Huh? Kang Xiaobo's eyes widened. You have a crush on my boss? Xiao Xiao nodded. Don't tell anyone. Don't worry, I promised. Kang Xiaobo was in a difficult position now. This wasn't something he could tell Tang Yun, it'd be gossip. Hey, can you tell me about Lin Yi? I want to know more about him. As far as Xiao Xiao was concerned, Zhu Ruoming and Pinliang's information were all indirect. Only someone like Kang Xiaobo, who interacted with Lin Yi all the time, could be trusted. But, my boss has a girlfriend already, your chances are really slim. Kang Xiaobo sighed. His boss was really lucky, all the girls who liked him were so pretty. It's okay, I don't care. I don't care about the title, I just want to be by his side quietly. I won't fight for anything. Xiao Xiao shook her head and said pitifully. Ah! Kang Xiaobo froze. There were girls like this in this day and age. Xiao Xiao wasn't bad at all, she could get any boyfriend she wanted, but she didn't care about the status and wanted to be with Lin Yi. His boss was outstanding, but Xiaobo was still very envious. He felt pity for Xiao Xiao. So what you're saying is that you want to be by his side quietly, only giving and not taking? Xiao Xiao nodded. Boss is here. We'll talk next time. Kang Xiaobo raised his head to see Lin Yi enter the classroom. He quickly shut his mouth. Lin Yi drove Tang Yun back to school. There wasn't any traffic on the way, but they were still a little late, only entering the school after the first afternoon class. What surprised him in the afternoon class was that Xiao Xiao, who'd changed her clothes, seemed to have forgotten about what happened in the washroom at lunchtime. She didn't bother him at all, didn't even bring it up. What surprised Lin Yi even more was that the entire afternoon was quiet. Xiao Xiao didn't say anything to him. What surprised Lin Yi was that Kang Xiaobo was looking at him in a weird way. It wasn't that Xiao Xiao didn't want to say anything, but she hadn't found a way to deal with Lin Yi yet. She didn't want to let Lin Yi go so easily. Getting drenched in Lin Yi's piss was the biggest humiliation she'd ever experienced in her life. She'd never been so humiliated. But Xiao Xiao couldn't find a way to teach Lin Yi a lesson right now. On one hand, she wanted Lin Yi to teach her how to drive, so she couldn't offend Lin Yi too much. For example, that stupid suggestion from Zhu Ruoming was something she couldn't accept. If she did anything to Tang Yun, then Lin Yi would become her mortal enemy, and that would ruin her original goal. It would be best if she could teach Lin Yi a lesson, but it wouldn't be too much of a loss. Just a little humiliation, just like how she did in the afternoon. When school was about to end, the homeroom teacher Liu came to the classroom and walked up to the podium. Everyone, quiet down, I have something to say. Tomorrow, our graduating class is going to have a tree planting event. There's an empty space behind the school, and it's where all the graduating students plant trees. We're about to graduate, and we'll be going our separate ways. In order to leave a memory for our old school, everyone can plant trees on this empty space. A few years later, when you return to your old school, it'll have a special meaning. Teacher Liu's words drew a round of applause from all the students present. The dull and boring life of a senior high student was filled with repetitive reading, questions, and tests. Now that there was such an activity, everyone naturally raised their hands to welcome it. There's no limit to the types of saplings. They're sold at the flower, bird, and fish market not far from the school. You can get them for a few kwai to a few hundred, depending on your financial ability. If you're really poor, you can donate a few kwai sapling from the class allowance, Teacher Liu said. Although there weren't any poor students in his class, he still had to say it according to tradition. Everyone expressed their support. Before graduation, most students wanted to leave a memory for their old school. After all, they were about to leave. Returning to their old school after a few years and seeing the sapling they planted with their own hands grow up was a different feeling. Chapter 425. Chapter 425, Shark Hunting Opportunity. What's so good about planting trees? Pin Liang didn't quite understand what Xiaofu was getting at. Liang bro, think about it. You can make a tree and decorate it with Meng Yao's name. Meng Yao'll definitely like it when she sees it. All girls like these. Gao Xiaofu said, look at the return of the Condor heroes. On Guoxiong's birthday, Yonghua gave her a firework. As a result, she was so happy that she even pledged her life to him. Gave herself to him? Why did I think Guoxiong became a nun? Pin Liang blinked. Then she became a nun. I don't remember, maybe I was looking at Du Jinxi. Xiaofu said, a little embarrassed. I think that being a nun is for love. Anyway, it'll definitely work. You're saying that I should light a firework too? Pin Liang asked. Yeah, Liang bro, haven't you heard of the Flare Silver Flower Nightless Club? We'll give Meng Yao a Flare Silver Flower Nightless Club, Xiaofu said. Alright, it's settled then. I'll go buy a sapling. Pin Liang thought that it was a good idea. It was much easier than writing a letter of blood. At least he wouldn't have to hurt himself with the Flare Silver Flower Nightless Club. This sapling needs to be special, too. It can't be the same as the others. If it's the same, then we won't be able to show how special we are, Xiaofu said. All right, I'll do some research and get an imported sapling. Pin Liang was very excited. Xiaofu had finally come up with a good idea. Liang bro, should we tell Xiao Xiao lil sis about this? She's the big sis of our class now, after all. We should at least tell her about this big thing we're doing, right? Xiaofu reminded. That's right, we should tell her about this in case Xiao Xiao lil sis has some plans against Lin Yi. It'd be bad if there were any conflicts. After school, Pin Liang invited Xiao Xiao to a corner of the school field, preparing to tell her about what Xiaofu had told him. Xiao Xiao patiently listened to Xiaofu's explanation. She wasn't interested in whether or not Pin Liang was going after Meng Yaro. Her target was Lin Yi. That's it. What does that have to do with me? Xiao Xiao frowned. I thought you guys thought of a way to humiliate Lin Yi. Humiliating Lin Yi? Little sister Xiao Xiao, didn't you want to teach him a lesson? Why are you humiliating him again? Pin Liang paused. He'd thought that Xiao Xiao and Lin Yi had some sort of deep grudge, but it didn't seem like it. Why do you care what I want to do? Xiao Xiao hemphed. I've embarrassed myself to death today, so I'm going to embarrass him. If that's the case, I have an idea. Gao Xiaofu's eyes lit up. What plan? Xiao Xiao looked at this useless advisor, not sure what he could say. Aren't we going to create a fireworks silver flower never sleeps? There'll be fireworks and firecrackers, and we'll give you a string of firecrackers, and you secretly hang them on Lin Yi's butt. Light it up, and Lin Yi's butt. Heh, he'll be as humiliated as you can imagine. Xiaofu wasn't good at other things, but he could come up with some dirty tricks. Oh! Xiao Xiao started thinking about the feasibility of this plan. If done correctly, it was a good idea. Secretly hang the firecrackers on Lin Yi's back without him noticing, and when Pin Liang lit up the fireworks, they'd secretly light the firecrackers on Lin Yi's back, pretending that it was an accident. Even if Lin Yi wanted revenge, he wouldn't be able to find any evidence, would he? Little sister Xiao Xiao, I think Xiaofu's idea isn't bad. Pin Liang, naturally, hated Lin Yi to the bone, and so he encouraged Xiao Xiao to do it the moment he heard that it could humiliate Lin Yi. Well, I'll think about it. Xiao Xiao wasn't as confident as Pin Liang was. She needed to study the possibilities of this plan. Yao Yao, are we going to plant trees tomorrow? Yu Shu was looking forward to this event. In fact, she was looking forward to anything new and interesting. Of course we're going a few years later, when we've all graduated, gotten married, and had kids, we'll bring them to visit our alma mater. We'll tell them that this is where their mom went to. It should be very educational. Meng Yaro nodded seriously. Oh, then will our kids have the same dad? Yu Shu asked. Shu. Meng Yaro glared at Yu Shu. She really wanted to crack open her best friend's skull and see what was inside. How could Yu Shu turn something as serious as this into a farce just like that? Chem. Yu Shu blinked. Open your mouth, Meng Yaro ordered. No, never. Yu Shu shook her head. Why? Meng Yaro paused. Yu Shu had always been an obedient girl. You pulled my tongue out, it hurts. Yu Shu said. You know it hurts and you're still talking nonsense. Meng Yaro hemphed. Then I won't talk about it next time, Yu Shu promised. You always say next time, next time, next time. How many times will there be next time? Meng Yaro didn't believe Yu Shu at all. Yaro Yao, the original meaning of this sentence is tomorrow after tomorrow. How many times will there be tomorrow? Yu Shu said. Oh, then tomorrow it is. It's more or less the same, who cares about tomorrow? Shu, you're changing the topic again. Meng Yaro was speechless. Yu Shu had almost gotten away with it again. Hee hee. Yu Shu stuck her tongue out. Let's not talk about it for so long. We haven't gotten the saplings yet. Let's go buy some. All right. Meng Yaro forgave Yu Shu for now. She had to learn to be tolerant with a best friend like this. Take a step back. Otherwise, she'd die of anger 10 times a day. Go get Lin Yi and tell him to drive with us. We can't fit the saplings in the car. Okay. Shield bro. Shield bro. Yu Shu called Lin Yi at the top of her lungs. Lin Yi had gone back to her room after seeing Yushu and Meng Yaro bickering. She was already used to the two's behavior, so she wasn't surprised at all. Lin Yi heard Yushu's call and walked out of the room. What is it? Shield bro, I want to eat shark meat again, Yushu said. Meng Yaro almost fell off the sofa. Didn't she ask him to go buy saplings? Why was the shark meat involved again? Oh, they don't sell it on the market. Why don't you go catch one yourself? Lin Yi was speechless. Shark meat wasn't that tasty. Why did this Miss Chen like it? Chapter 426. Chapter 426, Tree Shopping Shoe. Aren't we going out to buy saplings? Meng Yaro said through gritted teeth, holding back the urge to faint. Ah, right. Then let's buy saplings first. Yushu nodded. Lin Yi, we're going out to buy saplings, and the car's pretty big. Should we go in your car? Meng Yaro didn't let Yushu do it for her this time. She didn't really want to talk to Lin Yi, but she didn't know what to say after Lin Yi got into trouble with Xiao Xiao today. She was a little embarrassed. She was the one who'd caused all this trouble, and yet she'd asked Shu to text Lin Yi and ask if he was messing around. All right. Lin Yi nodded. How could he say no to the miss? Lin Yi asked. Are we leaving now? Yeah, we're leaving now. Meng Yaro stood up and pulled Yushu along, getting ready to leave with Lin Yi. It was the first time the Miss and Miss Chen had been in Lin Yi's broken car, and they couldn't help but gasp at how broken it was. Shield bro, this car of yours, it can still be driven? Yushu couldn't understand how a car like this could still move, and it was moving pretty fast too. You know now whether it can drive or not, right? Lin Yi smiled. A follower like me would be lucky to have a broken car to drive. Oh, I'll give you my car then. I don't like driving anyway. Yushu said seriously. Meng Yaro felt a little embarrassed. Lin Yi was her follower, and he didn't even have a car. Who knew what junkyard he'd gotten it from? She coughed. Lin Yi, I'll tell Forbert to buy you a business car tomorrow. Ah. It's fine, I'm pretty used to it. Lin Yi wasn't expecting the miss to be this sensitive. He'd just said it casually, and she wanted to buy him a car. Oh. Meng Yaro, naturally, wouldn't try to convince Lin Yi otherwise. That Xiao Xiao didn't do anything to you today, did she? Man, why not? She took a photo of me going to the toilet to blackmail me, but I thought it was Zhong Pingliang, so I pissed her all over. That's a big grudge. Lin Yi didn't try to hide it. This was all because of him going out with the miss, so Meng Yaro couldn't blame it on him if anything happened to Xiao Xiao in the future. Ah, you thought she was Zhong Pingliang and pissed her all? Meng Yao's eyes widened. She and Shu had gone to check the toilet when it rained last time, and the thought of Pingliang's pitiful face was hilarious. But how embarrassing would it be if it were a girl? Meng Yao's eyes were wide open. She'd gone to the toilet with Shu last time when it rained, and thinking about Zhong Pingliang's pitiful state was quite funny. But how embarrassing would it be if it were a girl? Meng Yaro could imagine that if it were her, she'd probably want to die. There was no way Xiao Xiao would just let it go. Lin Yi didn't mind. Let her be. She'll leave when she's tired of revenge. She's just a little girl. Lin Yi didn't really care. Let her be. She'll leave when she's tired of revenge. She's just a little girl. I'm really sorry, I didn't think she'd go after you. Meng Yaro said apologetically. Maybe I'll talk to her tomorrow, tell her that it wasn't your fault. Meng Yao's face was a little red as she humphed. I'm a person who knows what's good and bad for me. Don't think that just because I spoke up for you, it means that I'll treat you well. I'm telling you, I actually still really hate you. Meng Yaro blurted out in a panic, but regretted it immediately after. Did she really still hate Lin Yi? It didn't seem like it anymore. Ha! Lin Yi smiled. I know, but Xiao Xiao can't do anything to me. Don't go after her, in case the class finds out about our relationship. Meng Yaro gritted her teeth at Lin Yi. In case the class finds out about our relationship. So what if they find out? What's there to be afraid of if I'm not even scared? What's the meaning of this? But Meng Yaro understood that Lin Yi was saying this because he didn't want to put her in a difficult position, not because of himself. But Meng Yaro was still angry. Any other boy would be more than happy to have a relationship with her, but why didn't this Lin Yi realize that at all? Could it be that he was so weak? Meng Yaro didn't say anything, and the atmosphere in the car got a little heavy. Luckily, Yushu was there. Shield bro, do you think there'd be sharks in the flowerbird fish market? Meng Yaro really wanted to slap Yushu to death. Shu, do you think people would buy a shark to raise at home? Aren't they afraid of getting eaten by sharks? There are. Yushu nodded. For example, suicidal people. Alright, you win. Meng Yaro slapped her forehead. Lin Yi parked the car in front of the fish market and brought Meng Yaro and Yushu inside. Follow closely, it's a messy place. There might be pickpockets. Oh. Yushu quickened her steps before slowing down again. I didn't bring any money. Shu, are you serious? You're not joking? Meng Yao's face changed upon hearing Yushu's words. No, Yaro Yao, you know that I like to put my wallet in my bag. Yushu said. Look at my dress, where's my wallet? I didn't bring any either. Meng Yaro frowned. Lin Yi, did you bring any money? Ah, I did. Lin Yi said to himself. No wonder Forbert gave him a credit card. These two girls didn't bring any money when they went out. Then, I'll lend it to you. Meng Yaro breathed out in relief. It'd be a wasted trip if Lin Yi didn't bring any money. Wow, Yaro Yao, look, there really are saplings for sale here. There's so many different types. Yushu was dazzled as she walked in. Yaro Yao, what should we plant tomorrow? Meng Yaro shook her head. She wasn't an expert in plants, so she didn't know what to buy. Yaro Yao, look over there. That tree looks special. Why does it need an 4 drip? Yushu pointed at a few saplings not far away. I don't know, maybe it's sick. Meng Yaro said. Ah, it's nutrient fluids. Some imported saplings need to be injected with nutrient fluids because of the difference in environment, or they won't survive. Lin Yi explained with a smile. Some high-class parks have these kinds of trees. This one looks interesting. Yaro Yaro, maybe we should buy this. Yushu found the 4 tree quite interesting. Chapter 427. Chapter 427, Phone robbery. You're right, I can't do it every day. Yushu said as she stuck her tongue out. Can't you stop doing stupid things like that? Meng Yaro said helplessly. Alright. Yaro Yao, what kind of tree do you think we should buy? Yushu asked timidly as she shrunk her head back. Something a little prettier, something a little more normal. Meng Yaro didn't understand stuff like that. How about a fruit tree? Ah, why did you bump into me? A young man bumped into Meng Yaro, causing her to stumble and almost fall to the ground. The young man quickly apologized. I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose, I was in a hurry to move the goods. Oh, it's nothing. Meng Yaro frowned, deciding not to argue with the guy since he said it wasn't intentional. Wait. The guy was about to leave when Lin Yi pulled him back. What? What are you doing? The guy's eyes flashed with wariness, and Meng Yaro looked at Lin Yi, not quite sure what was going on. She'd already let it go, so why was Lin Yi holding a grudge now? Take out your phone. Lin Yi said faintly. Phone? What phone? The guy was clearly panicking, but he started yelling all of a sudden. It's a robbery, someone's trying to steal my phone, someone come quickly. The guy's yelling attracted the attention of the people around them, and they all came over to watch the commotion. What's going on? A couple of security guards walked over to the guy. He's trying to rob me, and he asked for my phone. The guy said innocently. Yeah, I can prove it. This guy doesn't know what's right or wrong, he's asking for his phone. Someone in the crowd interrupted all of a sudden. Oh, if that's the case, follow me to the security room then. The leader of the security guards said as he looked at Lin Yi, his eyes lingering on Meng Yaro and Yushu behind him, a perverted look in his eyes. Lin Yi, what's going on? Meng Yaro was getting a little pissed off. They were here to buy saplings. What was Lin Yi doing? Stopping a stranger and asking for his phone? Your phone was stolen by him. Lin Yi shrugged and looked at Miss R. My phone. Meng Yao's face changed as she touched her pocket. The phone that was originally in his pocket had disappeared. You mean, he stole my phone? Yes, why else would I stop him? Lin Yi nodded. Hey, don't fucking slander me. Who took your phone? The young man puffed out his chest and shouted confidently, if you say that I took your phone, Then why don't you take a look? You turned off your phone long ago. Lin Yi glanced at him and said faintly. Lin Yi clearly saw through his little cleverness. All right, that's enough. Follow me to the security room, and we'll be able to tell who's right and who's wrong when we get there. The captain evidently didn't want Lin Yi to say anything more as he pushed him away. Lin Yi's eyes narrowed as he guessed what was going on. This security captain was in cahoots with the thief. You two wait for me in the car. Never mind, stay with me. Lin Yi wanted to let Meng Yaro and Yu Shu wait in the car first, but thinking of the perverted look in the security captain's eyes, Lin Yi didn't feel at ease. It was better to let them stay with him. Zhu Ruoming only returned to school when it was almost time for school to end. He asked a few of his lackeys and was relieved to hear that Lin Yi didn't look for him or ask about him. It seemed like Lin Yi couldn't be bothered with him anymore. At first, Zhu Ruoming thought that Lin Yi didn't kill him because he didn't want to fall out with him, but today, he truly understood that Lin Yi didn't care about him at all. If he wanted to kill him, he would have done it a long time ago. Just like Uncle Yang today. So what if he was a golden class master? Didn't he still get stepped on by Lin Yi? As long as he understood this, Zhu Ruoming wasn't afraid anymore. As long as he didn't offend Lin Yi in the future, there shouldn't be a problem. Ming bro, are we going to join the tree planting tomorrow? It was Zhu Ruoming's number one lackey, Yun Lingxi. Of course, of course. Zhu Ruoming was very proud when he heard about tree planting. Look at the forest behind the school. There were at least 3 or 4 trees planted by Zhu Ruoming. 1 tree a year. He'd been in high school for 3 or 4 years now. Everyone else only had 1 tree, but Zhu Ruoming had several. Who could compete with him? Who could compete with him? Every time he planted a tree, Zhu Ruoming would be especially proud. As they spoke, Zhu Ruoming's phone rang again. It was his father, Zhu Tiendi. Tiendi was getting more and more scared the more he thought about it. He'd discussed it with Zhu Ruoguang and comforted himself for a while, but the more he thought about it, the more he felt uneasy. And so, he decided to ask his youngest son, Zhu Ruoming, about what happened back then. He wanted to know what Lin Yi meant. It was easy to invite a god in, but hard to send him away. Offending a god like Lin Yi wasn't going to end well. Where are you right now? Tiendi asked. Dad, I'm at school. School just ended. What's up? Zhu Ruoming asked. Come to my company, I have something to ask you. I'll pick you up at school right now, Tiendi said. He didn't send a car to pick Zhu Ruoming up every day in order to make him study hard. He didn't think that this would give Zhu Ruoming even more freedom. No one would see him do bad things, and that made him even more reckless. I'm going to the flower bird fish market at home. Our school is starting to plant trees again tomorrow. I'll go look for a sapling, Zhu Ruoming said. Then wait for me at school. I'll be right there, Tiendi said. About 10 minutes later, Tiendi drove the BMW that Lin Yi had destroyed to the school. The appearance of the car annoyed Tiendi, but pissing off Lin Yi made him even more annoyed. Zhu Ruoming got in the car, and Tiendi asked impatiently, You know Lin Yi? Of course I do. He slapped me a couple of times at school. He's my biggest enemy. Zhu Ruoming nodded. I had my eyes on his girl, but who knew he was that strong? Tiendi almost rolled his eyes at that. His whole family was Lin Yi's enemy, wasn't it? Tiendi felt the urge to cry. Chapter 428. Chapter 428. Catching a couple of thieves. It was also because of this that Tiendi had developed a temper. His son, Zhu Ruoguang, wouldn't be this cocky otherwise, even if he was the leader of the North District's gangsters. But today, he'd run into an iron plate like Lin Yi. His biggest support wasn't working. He's not just a match for him. Uncle Yang didn't even get to do anything, and Lin Yi sent him flying with 1 slap. That's an instant kill. Zhu Ruoming was terrified just thinking about it. It seemed that Lin Yi hadn't used his full strength when he'd slapped him, otherwise Uncle Yang would have been sent flying and his own head would have been gone as well. Instant kill. Tiendi's lips twitched. He'd thought that Uncle Yang had been defeated after he fought Lin Yi, but now it seemed that Lin Yi was far stronger than Forbert. Ruoming, do you think we should buy some gifts and go visit Lin Yi and apologize? Tiendi asked after some thought. That? I don't know, But I don't think that's possible right now. Zhu Ruoming shook his head. Lin Yi's pissed right now, wouldn't it be suicide if we went? We'll go apologize after things calm down a bit. That should be fine, right? That's true. Tiandi nodded. I'll see if I can use my connections to visit Uncle Yang and get a feel for Lin Yi's true strength. That works. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll win every battle. Zhu Ruoming made up an idiom. Win every battle, my ass. Even if you know how strong he is, we won't be able to win, unless we know someone stronger. Tiandi cursed. Just us. Don't even think about it for the rest of our lives. Man. I guess that's the only way. Aside from the fear, Zhu Ruoming wasn't willing to give up. Being bullied and having to endure it made him very uncomfortable. Tiandi parked the car in front of the market and got out with Zhu Ruoming. This market was opened by Zhu Tiandi, and with Zhu Ruoguang's men watching over the place, there wouldn't be any problems. The yearly rent alone was tens of millions, and it was a profitable business. Motherfucker, who parked their broken car in my exclusive parking space? Tiandi cursed with a frown. There weren't any signs of parking spaces in front of the entrance, but they'd still take up space when there were a lot of cars. However, there weren't many cars today, and this spot was occupied. Naturally, Tiandi wasn't happy about it. This was his exclusive parking spot every time he came here. It's just a broken piece of bread. Get someone to ask which business owner used this cart to transport goods. It needs to be cleaned up, right? Tell Ruoguang to find them some money tomorrow. Tiandi was pissed, so he vented his anger elsewhere. Huh! Zhu Ruoming got off the car and looked in the direction of his father's scolding. He almost stumbled and fell to the ground. He recognized that Minnie wasn't that Lin Yi's car. Dad, stop, please stop, look at the license plate. Zhu Ruoming quickly stopped his father from cursing, afraid that Lin Yi would hear him. What's wrong with the license plate? What's so nice about a license plate? Tiandi didn't think much of it as he walked into the market with his big belly. It's Lin Yi's car, Zhu Ruoming said. Lin Yi's here at the market. What? Tiandi jumped in fright upon hearing that it was Lin Yi's car. Thank goodness he hadn't asked the security guards to tow the car away, otherwise the consequences would have been unimaginable. Tiandi broke out in a cold sweat as he turned to leave. Ruoming, let's go, let's not stay here. Zhu Ruoming hesitated. He hadn't gotten his sapling yet, and it wasn't a coincidence that he'd run into Lin Yi, was it? Let's go to the office and come out after Lin Yi leaves. That works too. Tiandi nodded and walked into the market with Zhu Ruoming. The security guard at the entrance saw Tiandi and called out loudly. Mr. Zhu. Don't make a sound. Don't shout. Tiandi was about to explode. What was he shouting for? What if Lin Yi heard him? The security guard paused, not understanding what was going on. Could it be that Tiandi had brought some people with him to visit the market incognito? To check on the situation in the market? Thinking of this, the security guard felt that it was very possible, so he quickly nodded. Okay. I won't say any more. Tiandi and Zhu Ruoming slipped into the manager's office like ghosts. The manager of the market, Xie Fenpian, had just received a report from his security captain, saying that they'd caught a rich guy and two pretty girls. They'd investigated their backgrounds, and all they did was drive an old van. They couldn't be powerful people, and so Fenpian prepared to go down and take advantage of them. Stealing a phone. So he'd just take off his clothes and search them. Fenpian was more than willing to do that. Of course, he didn't dare do anything more than that, because he was afraid that something would go wrong. Searching a thief might be a bit overboard, but it wouldn't cause too much trouble. Fenpian was just getting excited when he raised his head to see Tiandi and Zhu Ruoming barging in. He jumped. Did they know what he'd done? But, according to Fenpian's understanding, Zhu Tiandi wasn't a good person, either. He was a troublemaker for the young girls in the company, and this was what they meant when they said that a crooked stick would have a crooked shadow. Tiandi's family, Zhu Ruoguang and Zhu Ruoming, as well as his underlings, weren't good people. Fenpian was only acting so recklessly because of Zhu Ruoguang's indulgence. He was originally a gangster in the North District, and because Zhu Ruoguang thought highly of him, he became the manager of the market. Fenpian wasn't afraid anymore when he remembered that Tiendi was the same type of person. Mr. Zhu, you're here. I have something good I wanted Guangbro to tell you. What is it? Tiendi paused. He wasn't feeling too good, and it'd make him feel better if he could rush it. The security department caught a couple of thieves, and there were some pretty girls among them. Mr. Zhu, do you want to search them? Fenpian said lecherously. Oh. Did you get a background check? Tiendi paused and asked. This was his hobby, after all. If there really was no problem, then he'd use the thieves to vent his anger. No background, they came in a broken van that looked like it came from a junkyard. There's no way they have any background, Fenpian said. Chapter 429. Becoming an idiot. It's just a couple of thieves, what's wrong? Fenpian paused, not understanding why Tiendi was acting like this. A couple of thieves? A man and a woman? Zhu Ruoming was surprised as well. A man and two women, Fenpian said. A man and two women? Zhu Ruoming paused and looked at Tiendi, both sighing in relief. A man and two women, that should be fine. If it's Lin Yi, he should be with Tang Yun, not a man and two women. That scared the hell out of me. Tiendi patted his chest. I've been scared to the point of going crazy. That's right, I've been so paranoid all day. Zhu Ruoming was suddenly interested in the pretty girls Fenpian was talking about, but he didn't dare say it out loud in front of his father. He could only look at Tiendi with a twinkle in his eyes. Come, let's go together. Tiendi, naturally, knew what kind of person his son was. He was as lecherous as he was, and so Tiendi decided to go together with his son. Heh, let's go check it out then. Zhu Ruoming was overjoyed, but he put on a fearful expression. Fenpian thought to himself that he'd lost a great opportunity to get close to Lin Yi, but that wasn't a big deal. He could use this opportunity to please the boss and the young master. Pretty girls weren't hard to find, after all, and he could find a lot of them with money. Wouldn't his money be rolling in if he treated the father and son well? Lin Yi followed the security captain to the security room because he didn't want to make a move in the market. There were too many people there, and Lin Yi wouldn't be able to use his powers. These guys had no choice but to resign themselves to fate in the security room. Bang! The security captain locked the door as soon as they entered the security room, pointing at Lin Yi like a brute. You guys, tell me, how did you steal this? Otherwise, I'll send you to the police station. It won't be as simple as it is now. Ha, you're with him? Lin Yi didn't think much of the barbarian's attitude as he looked at the captain. What are you talking about? He's the victim, of course we have to uphold justice for him. The captain's face changed, but he still tried to argue. Ha, uphold justice? You think you're Ultraman or the leader of Wulin? Lin Yi smiled. Just tell me, what do you want? Meng Yarrow and Yu Shu, by now, understood that the security captain was in cahoots with the thief. But with Lin Yi there, they weren't afraid of anything. Meng Yarrow and Yu Shu had been through life-and-death situations with Lin Yi before, after all. This bit of danger was nothing compared to bank robbers and sharks. The two were even a little excited. They wanted to see it. Lin, don't even think about getting out after entering this door. Since you're not being honest, we'll beat you up first. The captain waved his hand at the other guards. Bring the girls into the room. Chairman Xie will search them later. This kid is not being honest, so beat him up first. Yes. Several security guards rubbed their fists and nodded in agreement. Isn't it against the law to beat people up here? Lin Yi looked at the captain. In here, I'm the law. The captain pointed at Lin Yi arrogantly. I'm not afraid to tell you that there are no cameras here. If you go out, no one will be able to prove that you were beaten up by us. We can just say that you fell down yourself. Ah. I see. That's what I was thinking. Lin Yi nodded with a smile. What do you mean? Are you stupid? The captain blinked, not understanding what Lin Yi meant. I'm not stupid, but you're about to be. Lin Yi said as he patted the captain's head. What the hell are you talking about? Hey. Hee. Ha ha. Who? The captain's eyes went blank all of a sudden as saliva dripped down from the corner of his mouth. He started laughing hysterically as he tried to catch the thief. Catch the thief? Catch the thief! Catch the thief! Catch the thief! Shield bro, is he really stupid? Yushu cried out excitedly at the sight of the security captain turning into an idiot. This is fun, this is so fun. Shield bro, turn this guy into an idiot too. With that, Yushu pointed at the thief. Ah! Don't! The thief had seen Lin Yi's magic before, and he was scared out of his wits. He had never seen someone turn a person into an idiot with just 2 pats. He was a monster from the legends. This kid knows sorcery. Catch him. The other guards were scared as well, who had ever seen someone turn a person into an idiot with just a few moves. But, while there were people shouting for Lin Yi, no one dared to step forward. They were all afraid of becoming Lin Yi's next target. Not only did no one step forward, but they were also backing away. Plop. The thief dropped to his knees when he saw Lin Yi walking over. Bro, master, ancestor, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have stolen the phone, I'll return it to you now. With that, the thief took out Meng Yao's phone and placed it on the ground, crying with snot and tears all over his face. I'm just a small fry up front, Guang bro told us to cooperate and steal things, to cheat the customers. Lin Yi picked up the phone and handed it back to Meng Yao before the tears and snot dripped down. He then looked at the thief. Guang bro. What Guang bro? What does Guang bro do? Brother Guang is Zhu Ruoguang, the boss of the North District. This flower, bird, and fish market is also owned by his family. The thief said whatever was on his mind. He was afraid of becoming an idiot, so he naturally did not dare to hide anything. Oh, Zhu Ruoguang? Lin Yi blinked, not expecting it to be Zhu Ruoguang again. Now he was at loggerheads with his family. Call him, tell him to come here in 10 minutes, or I'll tear this place down. Aye. Alright, I'll make the call now. The thief was a little afraid of Zhu Ruoguang, but he was more afraid of Lin Yi right now. Zhu Ruoguang could only beat him half to death, but Lin Yi could make him wish he was dead. But, just as Lin Yi was talking to the thief, a security guard standing not too far away suddenly went berserk. He held a sharp knife in his hand as he approached Meng Yao. He wanted to use Meng Yao as a hostage to force Lin Yi to leave. He didn't feel safe with Lin Yi standing there. Since Lin Yi had already turned one person into an idiot, a few more wouldn't make a difference. Chapter 430. Turn into a few more man. I didn't want to create too much food wasting trash, but you could have just stood there and waited for Zhu Ruoguang to come and everything would have been fine. Why bother? Lin Yi looked at the guard sympathetically. Oh, a new idiot is born. Yushu waved her fist. Shield bro, turn into a few more? 2 is too few. The other guards and thieves sweated as they listened. Why was this girl so cruel? Did she like seeing people turn into idiots? Catch her. The door opened with a creak, and Xie Fenpian's eyes lit up when he saw Meng Yao and Yushu in the room. Such a beautiful girl, it's really a waste. If only Zhu Tiendi hadn't come today. Hee hee. Ha ha. He he. Catch the thief. The security captain grabbed at Fenpian like a maniac, drooling from the inside. What are you doing? Fenpian jumped. Have you never seen a woman before? Even if these 2 girls are pretty, you don't have to be this infatuated, do you? You're drooling, don't you think that's disgusting? Mr. Zhu's here. Stand properly. Fenpian was pissed off. The security captain wasn't usually like this. What was wrong with him today? He had to make a fool out of himself in front of Tiendi, wasn't he? Mr. Zhu. Zhu Ruoguang's here? Lin Yi looked at Fenpian. Fenpian evidently hadn't figured out what was going on in the room yet, not knowing that Lin Yi had the upper hand. You know Guang bro? That's no use, it's Guang bro's father who came today. If you know what's good for you, you'd better shut up, or else. He he. Slap. Fenpian didn't even get to finish before Lin Yi slapped him in the face. His ear started to bleed, and he fell to the ground, unconscious. Lin Yi was losing his patience. These Zhus didn't know what death was like, did they? Why were there so many idiots being sent to him one after another? Zhu Tiendi and Zhu Ruoming were dumbfounded when they heard the slaps and screams, especially when they heard Lin Yi's voice. The 2 of them stood at the door of the security room, not knowing whether to go in or not. They didn't know what to do. But even if they didn't come in, Lin Yi could still see them. He smiled coldly. Zhu Tiandi, Zhu Ruoming, come in. Tiandi and Zhu Ruoming looked at each other and forced themselves to walk into the security room. They wanted to kill the security captain right now. Of all the people he shouldn't mess with, why did he have to mess with Lin Yi? But wasn't Lin Yi with Tang Yun? Zhu Ruoming, however, saw Meng Yaro and Yushu. I say, Zhu Tiandi, haven't you had enough of going against me? Lin Yi knew that today's incident had nothing to do with Tiandi, but if Tiandi still wanted to use these small security guards after losing a golden class master, then he'd have to be an idiot. So, it could only be said that it was a coincidence. Still, Lin Yi was quite annoyed. Why did Tiandi's family always have to make things difficult for him? No. Boss Lin, you've misunderstood. Tiandi's face paled. Boss Lin, that wasn't what I meant, I didn't know. Right, it was that Xie Fenpian, he was the one who said he caught a couple of thieves for me to take a look at, right, Ruoming? Lin Yi nodded. Yes. Zhu Ruoming was scared out of his wits as he nodded. We didn't come to flirt with pretty girls. Tiandi almost exploded at his son's words. Wasn't this just showing that he wasn't hiding something? He really wanted to send him flying with a kick. You idiot, what are you talking about? We're here to handle a theft case, and we're here to make sure it's fair and just. Yes. Boss Lin, this really has nothing to do with us. Ruoming quickly corrected himself. Boss Lin, this really has nothing to do with us. Alright, I don't have time to waste with you guys. Load the 3 saplings and you 2 can leave. But don't mess with me next time, or I'll burn your house down. Lin Yi waved his hand impatiently. That's it for today. If you want to tell others, then do what you want. Zhu Ruoming paused. How could he just tell others? Wouldn't he be crazy if he told others about something like this? But he understood what Lin Yi was getting at. He was probably talking about seeing him with Meng Yaro and Yushu, but what did Lin Yi have to do with Meng Yaro and Yushu? They didn't say anything about that at school, did they? As confused as he was, Zhu Ruoming didn't dare ask. He and his father quickly went out to get the saplings after Lin Yi asked for them. Give me 3 saplings. Tiandi found a shop that sold saplings and asked the owner. How much? The shop owner saw that it was a big shot from the market asking for saplings. Why would he take money? He quickly brought the saplings over with a smile. Why do you need money? It's not that much. Just bring it over if you want to use it. I'll give you the money. Here's 100 kwai, is that enough? Tiandi took out 100 kwai from his wallet and handed it to the owner. I don't need that much, the saplings are cheap, just a few kwai each. The owner quickly waved his hand. Tiandi didn't have the time to waste with him. He threw the money down and grabbed the saplings before walking out. I'll get a worker to carry it for you. The owner asked kindly, seeing that Tiandi was doing it himself. It's fine. Tiandi refused decisively. He had to carry the saplings himself to show his sincerity. What if he got a worker and Lin Yi picked on him again? Plus, the saplings weren't heavy at all. He put the saplings in the car and carefully stood beside it, smiling. Boss Lin Yi, is there anything else you need? Nope. Right, I turned 2 of your security guards into idiots, is that okay? Lin Yi looked at Tiandi. They won't ask me for medical fees, will they? No, they won't, don't worry. Tiandi jumped. Turning people into idiots? What kind of technique was that? No wonder that security captain was acting so strangely. He thought he was a love-struck fool, but it turned out that he was an idiot. They fell and became idiots themselves. We'll compensate them according to the standard for work-related injuries.